And we're live. Hello, everybody. And I'm realizing that I don't actually have captions set up for this. It's almost like, ha 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 ha,
And,
let's go.
and that's why OJ didn't do it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
Wait,
just
and
kidding,
we're in
everybody.
the wrong positions. Let's do the camera shuffle. All right, we're good now.
Woo!
Firing on all cylinders today, baby.
Hey, morning, Baba Yaga. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Morning Ritual. I'm exhausted and Anita's drunk, so we gonna see what happens. We got a fantastic show lined up for you today.
Captions did you
Dolores-
dirty there. I called me Adidas. Adidas,
Adidas.
drug was what the caption said, not Anita's drunk.
Well, I hope you know that is your new nickname.
Adidas drug.
My Adidas. Anyway, hi everybody. I'm words. I'm one of your hosts, Noir. You can find me all over the internet as the TTRPGs. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And please don't forget to check out my website, TTRPGs.com, where you can find my merch. Merch for Dungeons and Dragons, merch for morning ritual, and basically everything else I'm involved with. We've got another fantastic host here, as always. Anita, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Anita, LFG, need warps to Izzled.
I love when green room jokes make it to the real show and like it's just for us.
I am your other host, Anita. You can find me at Benito or at Critical Misses. You can also usually find me here doing TTRPG things. I'm tired. I designed a bunch of merch on Noir's shop. Buy it because we're poor.
We need monies, and we've got.
We have a cat to support. Please support our son.
Support my boy, my son.
And we've got a fantastic guest today, everybody. Why don't you tell everybody about yourself?
Hi. My name is Chris.
Comes in smooth.
Don't you come
Right?
in here with that luscious ass voice?
It is always the way I
I
operate.
feel offended.
Always the way I operate.
It's
My boy! Either way, my name is Chris. I go by the internet, on the internet by OmnisX. You can find me OMNIS_X on Twitter without the underscore everywhere else because, reasons. I do things, I guess. I've written a game before, which is cool.
Yay,
Which you can find on itch.io. I stream, which you can find me on my channel, and I have opinions and apparently a good voice, which I'm working on trying to actually like sit down and do VO work because
Listen, my guy, I'm gonna beat your ass if you don't make a demo reel myself. Like that
hey,
voice.
yeah, there it is.
Listen, I've known this man for most of my life, and when I tell you from 14 to now, this voice has remained smooth.
Weaponizing the voice.
That's lovely. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. You saying that reminds me. I didn't get a chance to tell you this. I was at the dentist's office. No joke. I was at the dentist's office. I go to dentist, do my thing. I'm on my way out. I'm talking to one of the dental assistants. They're walking me out. And someone at the desk says, "Chris?" And I turn around and it's someone I don't recognize. I'm like, yes. And apparently they recognize my voice from middle school. So I'm like, geez, if there's any way for me to like so solidly know that my voice is definable, it's somebody saying, "Oh yeah, we went to middle school together. I just recognized you because I heard your voice."
I'm telling you, motherfuckers, this voice has been smooth.
Love Murder Roses. You don't need a demo reel. They listen to you read a phone.
Did you read a phone book?
I know I hype up a lot of guests. Look, let me tell you this. If you have enjoyed anything TTRPGs has presented to you, I promise you that it would not exist without the man that we have with you here today. I promise you, this is one of the people responsible for getting me involved in Dungeons and Dragons. One of the very first people that I played with. Listen, I've told people about the story of my first experience where I went to my friend Izzy's house. We played, and then I got hooked. And then I got invited to, I shouldn't say his name, but I'm going to anyway. I got invited to this guy named Santos's house where he hung my first character, which is what inspired me to GM. This dude was there for the whole ride, and when I decided to GM, he was one of the very first people I had in mind to actually be in my party. He has been in the world of Gloria since day one. I'm very this episode is more for me than for anybody else. So I hope that y'all enjoy just two old heads geeking out, because
that's such an introduction. Honestly,
listen. You have. I don't know how many of you have watched Kingsguard, the actual play that I used to do on this very channel. But a lot of the lore of that world, how like there is a island that exists, but it also exists partially in another world and all that kind of stuff. That is all direct consequences of stories that we told and of our friendship. It molded the world and it molded me into the DM that I am. So yes, this is a good one.
Just real quick, a brief aside. Baba Yaga, thank you so much for gifting those 5 subs. And Love Murder Roads, thank you for gifting that sub as well. We got a hype train real close at hand. Just need one more thing in order for that to go. Watson needs kibble. Wild. Support the Watson Kibble Fund. I'll put him on camera if we get one more. This is me putting on streamer hat and being like, I'm not too proud to whore out my cat on the internet.
I'll show tits for bits. I can't promise you'll like them, but I'll do it. Well, you want to see these movies?
There we go. We got a hype train. Thank you.
Give me them rubies.
All right.
Oh boy.
All right. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for this? Okay, I'm gonna actually turn the camera downward so that you can see exactly what this is. So backstory is I had a cat paw pillow that was on this very chair just as extra cushioning. It fell off the chair, and the boy has claimed it as his own.
The boy.
He
is resting.
Boy. He's a good boy.
He is resting.
He rests. He's a good boy.
So, let's introduce you to the space proper. Let's get into it, because it's kind of weird because you're newer to the space.
Yes.
But you have been such an integral part of my D&D history that it's kind of weird to me to like have to introduce you, because to me, like, you D&D'd before me. Like, it's very interesting. We grew up in a suburb of Chicago, and in a really shitty high school where motherfuckers got beat with locks.
I remember that day.
Yeah, right.
That was like one of my first days.
Got her ass beat.
I was like, what the? Yeah.
Yes.
You put the lock between the two knuckles and.
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't present.
I mean, that's how I do it. I'd stick my fingers in the lock it, and then I'd smash someone with it. That'd probably be about how I
believe that's what happened.
Oh shit!
It's so let's get into your intro, bro.
Okay. I don't know if I'm doing that or you're doing that. Tell me what's up.
Okay, I'll start the story, and you can kind of like use it as a launch pad.
Okay, cool.
All right, so we went to a really shit high school, and we were kind of the nerds there. We had a group called Circle Drive, and it was called Circle Drive because the foyer where people would park their cars and let their kids go in, or where the buses would pick us up, is where we hung out after school.
Yep.
I met this man because we used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And this was my anime connoisseur. Like, this is the person that was like, hey, check out this anime, and I'd either be like, nah, I'm not into it, which was like when you suggested Fist of the North Star and
Oh my
JoJo's
God.
Bizarre Adventure. Years later, I would be like, oh my God, he was right about JoJo's. This shit is baller. Or you introduced me to Mugen and like Melty Blood
Oh
and
my
that kind
God.
of stuff.
Those were
Like,
the days.
and so we got real close. We would go to Chris's house and play Rock Band. It would be like me, you, Latia, and like maybe my ex at the time. And it was just we became real close knit in an already close knit group of friends. We discovered D&D. I believe you were first to that, but you know, I kind of, again, the Santos experience wasn't great, so
Yeah.
I ended up making my own game, and then you made your own game, and then we kind of merged worlds.
Yeah. So a little bit on how that happened. Basically, what wound up happening, I started my career with a mutual, hopefully still mutual friend, whose name I believe is now Zach. And
Yeah. I remember. That's,
yes. So I don't know opinions on that one now, but we're just going to say,
Zach has always been cool.
Okay, good.
Weird but cool.
Yeah, weird but cool. Zach introduced me to D&D, and we played at their place, and we had a fantastic time. It was the first time with D&D. We were nerds before then, and then Zach was like, "Oh yeah, my brother's going to put together a game," and I'm like, "This is cool. Let's start inviting people." And Noir was one of the people who got invited, and we all played together, and it was quote unquote a second edition game. And we had some fun. Like there was some 100% vindication in enjoying the game, but some not so great things happened. I remember
the belt of gender swapping.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was second edition, so
yeah, the belt of gender swapping. It was a weird experience for all of us. But then afterwards, I remember there was some stuff that happened where we were just like, okay, we're not coming over here anymore.
It was great to have the like all night experience of playing D&D and getting like cheap Domino's pizza.
Back when Domino's pizza was $5 a pop.
Oh my God, we bought so many.
Yeah, everybody got their own fucking pizza. Like, and I don't know if we were like children and did not understand that the general price was $5 a pop, or Santos, who was our host, had actual hookups there. But generally speaking, everybody put in $5, got their own pizza. There was drinks.
Yeah, they used to have that deal where it was like $5 for a one-topping pizza.
Yeah.
Exactly. I remember that. Pepperidge Farm remembers that. We had that in Canada too. It was good.
Oh my God. It was great. And then, of course, as our shenanigans continued, we eventually split apart because some of the stuff in the story stopped making sense to us at the time, or we weren't having as much fun. And then Noir starts up his own table, and the world of Gloria is born. You know, they just start slapping stuff together, and it's great. It was a semi-epic level campaign. Everybody was like level 15, but the caveat was, it's just like, hey, if you have a book with anything cool in it, go ahead and use it. We have level adjustments for that. And I showed up to the table trying to be the biggest power gamer at the table. Mind you, I was not, because we had somebody else who is very power hungry.
I believe their new name is Luna.
Luna,
now.
Yes. Luna was very power hungry. But I showed up to the table with a half dragon troll. And this was a half black dragon troll. And I'm just like, cool.
I met him. Cool dude.
Yeah.
Beat my ass.
Oh my God. Dinox is so nice. He's the gold now because fuck it, the DM can do what they want. It's great. And I was like, cool, this makes sense to me because I'm still immune. Basically, the story was, hey, trolls resist most damage except for fire and except for acid. And I chose acid because I'm just like, cool.
Yeah, that
Fire's,
guy. That guy that was in my
Mhm.
sword, AJ.
Yes, that was my character. And so I showed up to the table. We started the session. Some shit went down, and lo and behold, I'm like, how do I not metagame this, but metagame it just enough? Because there was an angel who was dying, and I'm just like, everybody had feathers, and I'm like, do we need to do something with these feathers? I don't know. I'm gonna give it to the angel person who clearly needed them, and sure enough, I walked away with a shiny new axe.
So I wrote in my notes for that one, which is a lie. It's just a plan I had. I don't take notes. That everybody would get an angel. So basically, quick summary of the story is, they're at like a gladiator arena for the city's games, and the city gets invaded, and the king gets attacked in the middle of the Coliseum and killed. And the invasion is pretty much going to wipe out the city. And through prayers from this really sacred group that the party didn't know about, they were able to conjure up an angel to protect them. And what the angel was going to do was it was going to give a feather to everybody in the party, which would then manifest into a weapon. But rather than keep the angel feather, Chris's character, Dimaglodox, I still remember the name, gave the feather back. And that was like a rally to everybody else. They were like, yeah, let's give the angel its feather back so it doesn't have to lend its strength to us, so it can protect us. And the angel was so moved by that that it named Dimaglodox champion of the city. And the city itself manifested itself into an axe. And Dimaglodox kind of led the charge against the invasion. They were able to successfully push back against the invaders. And it was really kind of the first time, my value's a little low. Okie dokie. It was the first time that I was moved by my players. It was an emotional moment, and I kind of only had the experience of a door kicking dungeon run. So I was just like, I kind of like emotions in games. That is how TheNoirEnigma was born. That literally was just like, wow, there's more to Dungeons and Dragons than just I roll to attack. Let's try this out.
Let's try storytelling.
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment, honestly. And I think that solidified the tone for Dimaglodox, who would be further known as Dinox from that point forward, because he became kind of like the town's mascot. Like everybody was like, yo, he did the right thing. And me going like, I'm a troll barbarian, like this shouldn't be the thing that's happening, but I'll do like feats of strength. I'll impress the town. I became the local strongman. And the first instance I remember, because this also touched me, the first instance that I had emotional investment in the game was when the kids of the town came to Dinox. Was just like, you saved us, you're so strong. Like, you know, what are some of the cool things you can do? And I was like, well, I can breathe fire now because I'm golden. And so I leaned my head back and shot fire into the sky, like as like a rallying cry. And all the kids was like, wow, so cool. Like, you know, like, and in my heart, I'm just like, this is like so good. There's something really good about impressing children.
Like he became like I don't believe Dinox was a paladin, but he was very paladin-like. And so later on, when we get to the 5th age of this world, when Anita is playing a paladin, Anita gets the Holy Avenger, and what we discover throughout the campaign is that the Holy Avenger is that axe.
It started
It
off
sh-
as the story of the sword is that the sword came to her in a dream, and the original name of the sword was Dream Singer. And then when she gained paladin levels from because she was a hexblade warlock at the start of campaign, and when she basically had everything stripped away at one point at the end of the Lonely Throne, which was the precursor to Kingsguard. Yenna had all her warlock levels stripped away from her by her patron, who was her angel daddy, and was given an upgraded version of the sword called the Waking Chorus.
and fun fact, Angel Daddy is the very same angel that dropped the feather in the first place.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. That's new lore that I just dropped, baby.
Hey, free lore drops.
Um, Love Murder Rose has a question when you have a moment.
Yes.
Related to power gamers, how do you handle them at the table when you're not the DM? I know it's probably not my place, but someone in the group is bad-mouthing the DM for not allowing a fighter subclass that gets an evolving gun that does 1d10, then 2d10, up to 4d10 in attack at high levels. Oh, and it doesn't reload or use ammo. The real Avenger was the sword we made along the way. Thank you, Sam.
The best part of waking up is Sam not in your company, your stream. But okay, I can tell you how I handle power gamers as a GM, which is the stats say that it's easier for you to be successful, which is fine. There is no satisfaction from I roll, I hit the thousandth time. like if you're always swinging and hitting, okay, that's great. You gotta hook people into the stories, which is like you can have somebody with the most unoptimized character in the world and give them story beats that make power gamers jealous. And if they want those same story beats, I don't care if their characters optimized to the max or not. If you're not being a team player, then you're not gonna get those story beats. I'm gonna keep the treat from you. You know, so you can do 4D10 all you want to. That's great. How do you affect the world like that? I can send you mobs all day, but don't you want the town to consider you their hero? Don't you want to like infiltrate a criminal organization? Don't you want that kind of stuff? You're not gonna get it unless you play ball, and that's the kind of conversations that you have to have with your players. Like, hey, I firmly believe in not telling players no in terms of how they want to represent themselves in my fantasy world. But it comes at a cost. And as a GM, remember, the entire character sheet is your weapon. Hit them where it doesn't hurt. If they rely on an evolving gun, it's an item. You can take it. you can have it stolen, you can have it corrupted, you can have it not work for some reason, which is a story point. As long as you're being fair, you're telling a good story, then it should be fine. If they have a problem with you adding a story beat that requires them to do some thinking rather than rolling their optimized dice, then that's probably somebody that shouldn't be sitting at your table.
That's the difference between wanting to play a fighter and wanting to be a hero.
Yeah. And so my take on this is if I'm in the player's seat and I have another player who's mad at the GM for not allowing them to, have more damage, I think I'd probably find out like, hey, is this person someone who's normally like a good friend? Like, is this a rando? Is this a random person? Or is this like someone who is actually my friend and they're just upset because they want to have that fantasy of being the strongest, right? And once we find the heart of it, like what is it your character currently does or like currently does that can match that? Like you want to do a whole bunch of damage, there's other avenues. You don't have to just be a fighter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, are you here to tell a story or are you here to feel like, I mean, there are different ways for people to feel powerful at a table, and some
Yeah.
people feel powerful by empowering others at the table, and
Yeah.
some people feel powerful by feeling powerful, which is it's not, there's no wrong way to play, but at the same time, if you're shit talking your GM behind their back because they won't allow you your super cute and fancy weapon, maybe this isn't the table for you.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that. I love Joy. Literally start bullying power gamers. Hit them with the wow, bro. Did you win the D&T? We're also impressed by you right now with the most bland face.
And
Yeah.
Sam says that if a player is gracious at the table, no one cares how much damage you did. If you're a player bad-mouthing your GM, that is not acting like a friend at someone acting like a friend at the table.
Yeah.
Sam is incredibly powerful. Yeah.
Love Murder Rose says, full disclosure, it's an online game I found on Reddit with a newish DM, but she's put so much love into the campaign. She made a site to update. She made us all unique animated tokens. She made intro videos for each session recapping what we did. And she made unique boons to encourage role playing on Discord outside a session. I'm not the DM, but like she's trying so hard, and hearing this dude go off like that is just no. I get that. I pull him aside and have a conversation.
And also,
As another
your
player,
GM.
just say, hey, maybe this isn't the table for you. Just full disclosure. Like, if this is what you want and this isn't what you're getting from this game, maybe this isn't the game for you.
And
Yeah.
I'd also say the GM said, no, I mean, I don't know exactly what the GM said, but like,
if Noir bullies me as a power gamer, the puns will only intensify. I'm warning y'all now.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Like, there's nothing saying that you won't get the gun later. You know, like, what fun is the story of King Arthur if he starts with Excalibur? It's, you know, what fun is the story if Thor never loses Mjolnir? Part of the hero's journey is them acquiring their epic weapon, and I would even go so far as to say you start off with a regular gun and the gun evolves over time. It gets stronger with you. Why not? No one can power game at Noir like me. I've been torturing this motherfucker since '98. That's why he won't DM for me. I do DM for you.
Well.
You see how I'm getting
and
beat
yeah,
up
that's
in
a
these
very good idea.
retweets?
Reach out to the DM, see how they feel about the situation, and then if they need backup, you can back them up on it.
Absolutely.
Because it might be a case of, if this is a newer DM that is like just doing their best and having someone like upset at them for this, maybe they don't quite have the confidence yet to advocate for themselves. So being that validating voice to be like, hey, this is kind of fucked, it is powerful in itself.
Yeah, and for real, like I'm not gonna gloss over the fact that you found the game on Reddit. So this might be one of those Reddit trolls who's determined to bully someone into getting the fantasy he wants, or they want, because I don't know, but ultimately, like, yeah, that stuff's not kosher to begin with. So if you back up your GM, just let them know they're in the right, because man, you would not believe the stuff that our GMs, myself included, think behind closed doors, where it's just like everybody had the most amazing time. You give thumbs up and you give all celebratory, like you get a cake, and you're just like, they hated this game.
And listen, every time I end a session, like I have a quiet 10-minute pity party, like, It was bad. Nobody liked it. Nobody likes me, and I don't deserve good things in life. Like that. And then after that, I go into my Odin sleep. Like,
You sleep it off.
GME tuckers me out.
Never underestimate the power of, hey, that's not cool, buddy, to problem folks.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, honestly, though, the ultimate solution I have for that GM is give them the gun, make it intelligent, and make the gun sassy as fuck.
Make the gun hate killing.
Mm. Mm.
Like, yeah, I'll do my 4d10 damage if I feel it's a worthy cause.
Oh, you just got paladin, buddy.
Like, really, here's the thing that I always like to remind GMs. You can't paint yourself into a corner because you are the world. And anything you say happens. Remember to keep it fair, remember to keep it interesting, and remember that there is no corner. Anything could happen. The ground could fall beneath your feet and you can end up in another world if you decide that's the case. Just have a reasoning for it. Understand that your players don't know what everybody else in the world is up to while they're doing stuff.
I'm a lawful good gun, and my laws say that pacifism is the only way.
I'll do 4d10 damage, non-lethal.
Non-lethal.
It's beanbag rounds. Make the gun like me after a single shot of fire. She'll work for you, but not the way you want her to.
Amazing.
Roll to persuade Gunny McShooty that this is a stand your ground state.
Jesus.
Gunny McShooty is my favorite now.
I love that.
That is the perfect.
I almost want to tweet that with no context.
Do it.
Yeah, please.
Oh my god.
We
Morning
love this
ritual out
chaos.
of context. Roll to persuade Gunny McShooty that this world is a stand your ground state.
Damn, tweet it now.
Tweet it.
We'll wait.
Bang bang go
Bang,
round.
bang, roundy.
Shoots
the show
McGraw.
now. We're just gonna be making fun of this gun. Like, I mean,
Yeah. Like, legitimately, like, when I think about it, when I had the Axe of Demi, one of the most powerful artifacts that we could get our hands on for every player, I was still doing like 1d10 or 2d10 damage. Like, I was a 15th level character and straight up only doing that much damage. Now, of course, I had modifiers, but you know, it's the weapon isn't the important part, bro. Like, don't have your GM Tony Stark you.
Noir?
No, Demi ends up merging. So the kingdom attacking Demi was named Torin, and they end the war by merging into one giant powerhouse country called Daihan, which is named after the king and queen of Demi, Diana and Han.
Lore drops.
Lore drops.
It's weird reciting lore like this.
Yeah,
because it's so very real. Like, it's so very real to me, and having somebody else that's like, oh yeah, no, I remember that lore. It was a rough one. Like,
yeah. Oh my god, it was very rough. Like, just being
Thank
truthful.
you for pinning that tweet.
We love it.
What was it that Joy just said? A drunk sorority girl gun?
Oh my god, like, this guy's so annoying.
Just rough.
So, to continue to get back onto the
Oh my
rails,
god, no, I'm so messed up right now. I can't shoot. I'm so shy.
Oh my god.
Listen, no one asked for
Sorority
the
girl plus
Valley
drunk
Girl gun.
bathroom girl gun. Should I text my ex? Should I do a sending spell to my ex?
Absolutely. I'll send him
Every
one of your rounds. You get
er,
one less attack now.
every time I hear this gun, I'm just thinking.
Make it a pun gun. It can only be triggered by a good
Oh
pun.
no!
Or make it
no!
a terrible pun every time they shoot. GM's choice. Make the gun sentient and make it pun every time.
Oh, rough. Rough.
You know, I don't want to shoot, but I guess I'll give it a shot.
Oh no.
I hate this. I hate this.
That was rough. That was rough for me.
I'm so sorry. I'm not proud of that. I don't know where that came. Sam is a bad influence. No,
There it is.
Sam is a great influence. Don't lie.
You're
You're not sorry.
I'm not sorry at all.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
I'm not sorry.
I can't.
but-
I'm not gonna apologize for being a fucking Canadian. I don't give a shit.
You with your fucking free healthcare. Anyway,
Not anymore.
welcome to America, baby.
Sam is proud of you.
Such a
so like we played a lot of D&D.
I'm sorry. One
Like-
last thing on this gun. Right before it does
Yeah.
fire. Oh my god! Hold my hair. I'm gonna.
No,
that's the best one.
it makes it even better if it shoots automatic. It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna.
Right? You have a cursed gun, it will shoot when it wants.
Just makes the puking noise every time.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Anyways, moving right along. let's try to direct this show back on the motherfucking rails.
Wherever
So-
rails are going.
This is chaos, and I'm here for it. Push his lunch away. I'm so sorry, Jordan. So obviously, we played a lot of D&D together. You know, and as friendships do, after high school, we kind of drifted apart.
Mhm. Yeah, I basically moved across the country, is what happened. Like I moved across the country and I was in a place where like I thought I was where I wanted to be. And for a long time I was. But the problem was I wound up cutting out the old stuff that made me happy. So like I had a very long time where I wasn't actually even playing D&D. Like it dropped off my radar. I had my books on my shelf and I would look at them every now and again and be like, oh, I should play again. And I never did. And eventually some friends wanted to play, but now I was the mandatory GM, like, because I knew the most about it. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'll run you through 3.5 because like 4th edition was on its last legs and 5th edition hasn't come out yet. And I was like, I'm just not going to spend money on books because I don't want to update yet. I wish I did. 4th edition is great. If you have not played it, please play it.
I still have not played 4th edition, and I really want to.
Okay. I will. I may fix that one of these days.
4th edition is. I think you would actually very much dig 4th edition because 4th
Yeah.
edition is Dungeons and Dragons for people who like MMOs.
Yeah.
That's kind of a great segue. We'll come back to the history of how we kind of found each other again. This is the guy that got me into MMOs, and we started off with Ragnarok Online, and I apologize for the anger that you guys are about to experience.
Bring
So-
the rage.
So the anger comes from, both of us. I think the reason why the GMs that we are now is because we had our power gamer phase. It was in Ragnarok. That's what happened. We were both sitting there trying to build the best of the best that we could build, but we were two different classes. Noir played the priest,
Yes.
the healer. They had incredibly healing skills. They were almost unkillable in the right circumstances. And it was great. We were all part of the same little guild. And I played the Assassin Cross, whose sole job it was to kill characters like the Wires. And so
Anger.
for those who do not know, the Assassin Cross is like the rogue class in the game, which honestly is very weird considering I didn't ever play a rogue in D&D up until like recently.
He sneezed.
They have an attack. It is one of the most unhinged attacks in the game. It does incredibly high damage, and there's a skill that often buffs it ridiculously called Soulbreaker.
Ah! Also, whoops, I forgot also Pokemon Go account. That's me. The sound should be fixed now, y'all. Sorry about that.
Woo! We love that. We love it so much. But yeah, so Soulbreaker, you attack from almost like 5 to 10 spaces away, and you hit for ridiculous damage. And like the thing was, we played on a private server, so we were out there. Shout outs to anybody who still remembers Akina RO. I remember the name, but we were the most powerful people on that server.
We ran that server so goddamn hard.
I think I was on that server.
Oh, we love to see it.
We probably fucked you up a couple of times.
I mean, probably. My poor little
were
level
savages.
nothing priest or merchant.
Oh, no, we didn't attack people.
I usually stuck
For
to
no
town.
For no reason.
I didn't. I would never initiate PvP. I was mostly just there to try and sell things.
This is so millennial. Thanks. I appreciate it. I have been ordained as a millennial.
Joey, in case you were wondering what it was I was doing on the kitchen computer for all those long hours, it was this.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, so we had builds. We went out, we got cards. I'm not even gonna lie, I believe there was bribery involved because we were kids and we had our own money, so we would like PayPal the GM's money so to get to their items. I distinctly remember one time on the server, I literally got teleported into a private GM space, and the GM was like, "Where did you get this item?" And I'm like,
I know exactly what item it was, too, you fucking asshole.
Yeah. So Noire had bought these wings that had like 4 card slots and gave unbelievable buffs. They were not supposed to be for player use. And when I got pulled aside, I told him, I was like, "Yo, I got these for my friend. He bought points for them, and we got them." And he contacted another GM, was like, "Okay, cool. I just need to make sure," because he thought I hacked him. When I tell you we were the most powerful people on that server, there was an incident. I hope you remember this, though, because this is one of these standout moments for me. Is we were all in a dungeon, me, Noire, and another friend named Dexter. We were all sitting there. We were trying to wait for Baphomet to spawn or some other boss to spawn because we needed cards to slot in our armor. Yeah, it might have been Doppelganger. I don't know. But we were going for cards because they give you special abilities. I'm like, cool. We're sitting here waiting for the next boss to spawn. I go off to go get a sandwich. And when I come back,
you're getting attacked by everything.
Right. Not only was I didn't even get attacked by everything. That was a different occurrence.
Oh, okay.
This one, I remember the name of the attack now. I come back. I'm in battle stance, and there is a dead player in front of me, and I'm like, "What happened here?" And I was politely informed that this monk used the most powerful attack in the game called Azura Strike.
Yep.
He tried to Azura Strike me. I had reflect damage on. He dealt half my life bar, but half of my life bar reflected to him, killed him.
One shot himself.
He one-shot himself. I was off making a sandwich. And if that doesn't tell you how power gamey we were back then, I don't know what will.
And I need to inform you that our crew consisted of me, the priest, and I was insanely good at healing and bringing folks back from the dead. Yeah. Omnis over here, who was just a damage machine, and our friend Dex Strider Zed, he was a monk. Remember we told you that monk move like did half.
I remember Strider Zed.
Yes. Oh, wait,
If you
Strider's Head
ever,
popped up in your game?
if you ever saw, there was like a level nothing priest. That was me. I was, I think my name was Isera Durno on the server.
Hmm.
I
I may-
warped you.
You did,
Well, it looks like
you did
our
warp me where I
ties-
wanted to go. I think I ended up in like a level 40 dungeon as like a fucking level
my
5.
favorite-
You
That's my favorite
motherfucker!
thing to
I'll
do
never
to people
forget
that
you.
would keep bothering me for warps. I just send them to the most powerful dungeon of the game and be like, fuck you.
Bitch, I'm fucking done this bitch.
Oh no, I may have started a war. I love
Oh my
to tell you.
god, that's awesome! I killed my partner before they were my partner.
I hope you
So-
know I made it out of that fucking dungeon.
I would
made
love-
you stronger.
I'd love the fact that somehow, some way, by having me on the show, you have now discovered that your relationship is an enemies to lovers arc.
Slowly but surely, we gonna turn this into some yandere shit. You bested me in battle, and now no one else can have it.
I clawed my way to hell just to tell you the devil said hello. I made my way out of that dungeon fucking barely. I ran for my goddamn life
Oh man,
and
it's
made
rough.
my way back to Midgard.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I love that.
Oh.
I didn't have warps. I'm just like, yo, we're just
Meanwhile, my ex, because I was on that server with my, his name was Rune Magius, was his username, and he was a higher level than me.
Was he a wizard?
Yes, he was!
Oh my god, I killed your ex!
okay. So I believe if Rune Magius ever had went into the PvP room and started talking shit, I also murked this dude.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because I remember we sat in the PvP room.
Remember we had our own little island, and anytime anybody came to the island, we would fuck them up.
Yeah, we were just like, hey, yo, don't come over here.
Remember that one wizard that kept coming?
Mm-hmm.
That's him.
Yes.
No fucking
Yes,
way.
He used to
We
fucking
all
do that. He
took-
used to go there to fucking troll you.
We all took turns killing his ass. It was like a Brazzers video.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. We are off the
I
tracks
think a
now.
piece of me has been healed knowing that you beat the shit out of my ex on Ragnarok Online.
That's wild. Legitimately, I cannot believe that because I remember he was mad talking shit. Like he was just like,
Yes.
it's just because you're on your assassin. You're on your assassin. I was like,
Yes.
cool. I logged off
And
and
then
came
he-
back up by wizard.
Yeah, and then he also had a assassin build as well on that same server, and yeah, he kept fucking going back to the island and like trying to like get you guys and could not, and he gets so mad.
He was so
fucking
mad. Like he was coming after me because I was a priest, and he thought like
Kill the priest.
you can't
Yeah.
like the priest can't do anything, but he didn't know like Omnis was telling y'all we spent a lot of money, and I had 4 cards. Listen, the priest only has one offensive move that does not hurt. I mean that hurts
That hurts people.
people. All of our other moves only hurt undead, and the move
Mhm.
that we had was called Holy Cross, and
Mhm.
I got nothing but cards that ramped up Holy Cross damage. So he would come in talking wild spicy, getting his little spells together, and I'd be like, Holy Cross, Holy Cross, Holy Cross.
Yeah, it was rough.
Remember the picture of that guy that I showed you, and I was like, "That's my ex."
Yeah,
Yeah, that's him.
get ducked on, nerd.
Yeah.
Bro, all right. Just to say no one could cross you.
So here is apparently backstory lore that I didn't know existed, is that we knew each other before we knew each other.
So
Yeah.
fun fact, one of the major characters in the world of Gloria is a character by the name of Xander Cross. The cross comes from my love of Holy Cross.
That explains that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, and also for context, it wasn't long because I'm like, hey, nobody should be attacking my priest. If anybody's going to attack my priest, I'm going to do it. It wasn't long before we found the card that allowed Noire to use Soulbreaker. And I tell you how busted he was because he already had high spiritual damage. That move was spiritual dependent.
If Morning Ritual episodes had titles, this one would be called Lore Drop. You are correct.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were out there. Power gaming to a T.
I was playing on my family's shitty modem 56K in British Columbia, and I kept lagging and getting murked by you.
Can I tell y'all one of my remember? So the monk has this move where they like summon a bunch of orbs and then they just like punch you once and that's it.
Azure Strike.
Yeah, this dude came back so many times that Dex or Strider Zed would go to where people would spawn onto our island, and he had the orbs ready. This dude just appeared, and all you heard was.
And all I heard from the other room was, shit, fuck.
Buddy, let me tell you, there's nothing funnier. Because imagine, if you will, this game is a 3D, 2D game. So all the characters are 2D.
It's so cute.
You spin the camera around.
Ragnarok Online is fucking adorable.
It is. You spin the camera around in a 3D environment and you see this 2D character changing on a small plane. When characters died, they only had the two poses. And when they left a place, right? They faded out. So can you imagine? You're loading into an area. You've pissed off someone you shouldn't have. You're loading into an area, and before the game finishes loading you into an area, the first thing you see is your dead body on the floor, asking you where you want to respawn.
To tell you exactly what happened is I was looking for a port to, I think, what was the name of the desert area?
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, I think
Frontera
so.
is the main area.
Yeah, I was in Frontera. I was looking for a warp to.
Everybody was looking for a warp to. I just remember the nickname for it, which was Parawarp, because that's where everybody would go to power level.
Yeah, I was looking for a warp to Para. I was looking for a warp to, I think, one of the other towns because I was looking to like upgrade my class. I was like level 5. I don't think I had like properly picked anything yet, and you were like, "Hey, like I can give you a warp. Come here," and like you warped me. And I remember I came to and I was surrounded by Baphomets.
These giant ass demon ones.
This was like an old, like it was like all busted, like rune, like old ruins, and
it was a nightmare.
I survived.
I died for this
a bunch of times because that you would respawn in the same sort of area.
Mm-hmm.
I kept respawning and I made my way back.
Oh my god!
We were.
Ties.
Man, it was fantastic.
What was your name again?
Xander Cross.
It was Xander Cross, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You motherfucker.
And I had the same username as I do now, OmnisX. So I mean, it is what it is. I've had that username since we'd been playing on back then. We've been playing on Xbox. We did everything.
Oh my god, we balled so like there would be times like we weren't. I want to clear the record. We weren't bad guys.
They weren't bullies. They were just trolls.
Yeah, we were kids. Like you give a kid, like, imagine what happens when you give a kid the biggest stick on the playground. Everybody's just like, hey, like, I know you're cool. Let's hang around you. And I'm like, all right, fine. Do whatever you want to do. And I'll help you out, which is cool. But it's sometimes you're just like, hey, keep giving me your lunch money. Like, all right, cool. Here's a hall pass.
I was just getting annoyed because everywhere I'd go is Parawarp. So I would go to Frontier and be like, who wants a fucking Parawarp? Y'all motherfuckers
Yeah,
basketball here.
you
Here's what's
actually
gonna happen.
fucking. That was the worst part.
Yeah, the scamming. Like I remember other people started doing it too, and it was just like, yeah, we're all children. But hey, you know, it is use your power responsibly.
So Latia, guess what I learned today? Today I learned that Noir and I were on the same Ragnarok online server, and
So was
they
she.
ditched me in a dungeon full of Baphomets, full of demons.
Ditching you implies that I ever intended to go with you.
No, he warped me there and then just fucking left.
Yeah, the ancient language. Yeah, we all played on the same Ragnarok server, Akina RO. Wouldn't you know?
Oh god, that's hilarious. I mean, we ran the shit out of that server.
Yeah, we did. We dumped so much money in there. And then I remember the glory days of TeamSpeak before Discord. Oh my god. Listen.
I'm so glad none of that shit was recorded because we had a lot of growing up to do. We was
This was you were 2 years younger. You're 2 years younger than me.
Yeah. Get fucked, nerd.
You're on your parents' computer.
I was on the computer in the kitchen.
Yeah, me too.
Was on my folks' parents' condition. You know, it is what it is.
I was on like a compact Presario.
Oh my god, the old tongue.
I was on my first home built computer, living at my first place in Calgary. That's where I was.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
No, shut up. Shut up.
Oh, we're
stop.
professionals. We
Yeah.
know what we're doing. We're almost at 100 episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. And the wake word for computer. The family.
It was the only family computer.
Could not play Webkins or Club Penguin apparently because of this.
You're
Post a
welcome.
custom
You're
made
welcome.
meme in chat. Absolutely, you can do it. Love Murder Rose. Latia is
cannot
apparently
believe-
Joy's new sibling.
No. Well, does that mean?
So far, was you just trying to visit? No. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
no.
my ex. Also, the backstory to that is that was my ex trying to visit that island, and he deserved it. And a piece of my soul has been healed this day, knowing that you bullied successfully my abuser. I appreciate that. You remember the one that guy story that I usually tell? It was him.
Oh wow. See, I've never heard that story, so eventually
it's a big trigger warning. I'll tell you. I'll tell you at one point.
Holy shit.
Yeah, his
Oh
name
my
was Rune
gosh.
Magius on the server, and
Yeah,
you fucking wrecked his
trashed
shit,
that.
and I'm so proud of you.
He just
We
kept
trashed
coming
that guy.
back.
He
It's
did.
He couldn't take.
Because at one point it became like a
Soulbreaker
challenge. At a certain
Like-
point it became like a challenge, and he was a mediocre white dude, of course.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it was. I thought it was the audacity
Oh.
there, but ultimately,
So, yeah.
Oh,
This
Hey.
is this episode is titled Lore Drop.
Oh
This
my
episode of
God,
Bluey
that-
is titled Lore Drop.
we
holy
love that.
shit. But okay, back to the last thing I want to say, and then we'll get back to the real series. I never thought that. Listen, I'm proud of what we did in Akina RO, and I never thought I would feel this pride again.
Baba Yaga was also on the server.
Yes. Oh my god.
And
this is
Latia was also
amazing.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Latia,
Yeah.
if you ever saw like a really low-level priest or merchant named Iseyraderno, that was me. ESEYRADERNO, that was my username
Oh my
on that server.
God.
Listen, we were off the chain on that server, right? Like, legitimately, I telling you that, like, my computer was on 24/7. I had made a merchant so I could jack up prices and get more profit, and I sat them in a town overnight so people could buy stuff from me.
Yeah, I do that too.
We were just farming cards and outpricing everybody.
Yeah, because we had the time. We were high schoolers. We didn't care about homework. What?
Oh my god. We were just killing everybody and
I was an adult paying taxes.
And manipulating the economy.
I was 2 years older than you.
It was the one time in my life I got to feel like a member of the fucking 1%.
Oh my god.
Ran
Either
the
way.
economy.
So all of that to say, we were power gamers, and as it was, I moved off, and then I wasn't in the best of places, and then I eventually came back, and I came back because of Adventuring Academy. Adventuring Academy reignited my love for D&D, started playing more, and then eventually, I mean, I'm not going to use the old adage, but I saw an old friend. And this old friend who had not quite name dropped me, but reminded me that I was a brilliant person when I was back then. I was like, yo, like, you still think of me this way? I thought I dissed all my friends when I left like this. And I reached out. They were like, cool, you're still good. I forgive you. Come back and get the shit done. And basically, I turned myself around and decided to step foot into the space and be like, hey, I apologize to everyone who I thought I was a jerk to. And everybody was like, you're cool.
And can I say, it was so sweet when you came back, because it was just like, listen, like it like with all good intentions and nothing but love. It was like very hat in hand, like, hey, I fucked up. I hope it was still cool. And I was like, I thought I fucked up.
Hydrate and stretch, everybody. I don't actually have water. It means I need to go get water.
I had some water.
I got iced coffee, like the queer I am. But no, so you ended up coming back, and like you're starting to build the foundation of your own community and your own presence in the space, which I cannot tell you how excited I am for it. Because truly, I really can't tell y'all enough. I have had like, we would talk like hours at a time, just world building, and the idea that the mind that had those conversations with me is now going to be shared with everyone, and you're going to show them what you can do. It almost feels like validation. Like, it's selfish as shit, I know, but it feels like validation, because it's just like, see, motherfuckers, I told you, we don't boys. Like, because this dude is really good at just, like, some of the darkest storytelling I've ever seen comes from this big brain, like Tia says. It comes from this big brain. And y'all are really gonna be taken aback, like, once you get your projects started. Like, it's gonna be and I'm really proud of the small community that we had in our little rinky-dink Chicago suburb, because, like, we ain't have much but our imagination, and now we're in a place at a time where that holds value, and y'all are about to get y'all fucking socks rocked when these when these motherfuckers take off. It's really gonna be something else.
Hell yes.
We love it. We love that so much. I do want to take a moment to say specifically, Love Murder Rose, yes, I am very happy to share this with you, because honestly, the thing is, taking a journey, right? Like, taking a self-reflective journey is so important. Like, I want to reiterate, Noir, Latia, and all the people who I reached out to and apologized to for how I felt I was, were under no obligation to accept that apology, right? I had to go to therapy to learn this lesson, to forgive myself. And it's hard. It is so very hard for you to take that moment where you're just like, hey, even if I wasn't the best of people, I can still at least forgive myself for what I did. And so that's why I reached out. That's why I apologized. I said, hey, listen, I want to apologize to you because I did not leave on the best of terms. And even if we aren't friends anymore, I want you to know that, you know, I don't feel right about what I did. And I was fortunate enough that my friends were like, it's all water under the bridge. Sometimes you won't get that. One of my friends, or what was one of my friends, did not accept my apology. They said, hey, I'm not going to forgive you for what you've done. It's going to take me a long time to heal. I haven't spoken to them since that point. I hope they're doing okay. But what matters is that I reached out and apologized to them.
They don't have to accept the apology, but the point is that you've done at least that part. That's
Yes.
an act of bravery in and of itself.
I mean, and the lesson that I kind of learned from you is that we all have our own narratives, and they're very rarely 100% correct.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely thought I burned the bridge, and what I learned is that we burned the bridge, and it kind of was like a bonding moment in the sense that we even did that together. Like, so it's just like, oh, we never stopped being in sync, even when we were destroying things. So
Yeah.
it's just like,
what if you handed the match? One of you had the matches, the other one handed the gasoline.
Yeah.
Right. And so sometimes it's worth it to take the jump. And I think one of my greatest shames, we're getting surprisingly deep. One of the things that I'm most ashamed of is that I didn't have the courage to take that leap first. And so, you know, it's when I start this episode by telling you this is one of the best people that I know, this is one of the best storytellers that I know, this is one of the best friends that I know, I mean that. Like, there is no noir if OmnisX doesn't exist. Not just because of the D&D, but because of the lessons that we learned throughout our friendship, even when we thought it ended. Like, this inspired me to reach out to a few other people in my life. I've told the story here a few times about how I had a really bad breakup with one of my exes, and you know, this inspired me to kind of reach out and talk to them, and we're cool again. And it's weird, but it's like, you know, like this was a breakup that cost me a lot of friends. Like, I don't, honestly, the only members of Circle Drive that I talk to anymore are Chris, Latia, and another friend of mine that was also like, I was never really part of Circle Drive, but you know, I was familiar with y'all. And it's just like, oh, okay, we're all humans, we fuck up, and sometimes it's good to extend that hand. So yeah, thanks for that lesson.
It's kind of hard to say you're welcome, because I feel like that's not a lesson I taught. But you know, we're all learning lessons today about burning things, apparently. So hey,
Yeah,
if you
apparently you're supposed to burn your friends.
yeah, who knows? Who knows?
The real arson is the friends we made along the way.
Right? Your friendships are a great conflagration. Make sure that you get the most out of the things that they touch.
Oh, we're getting too sentimental and emotional. What the fuck is this?
I'm here for it,
who
though.
knows?
I like it.
Who knows?
Sometimes you bond by burning things down to the ground, and sometimes you bond by burning people to the ground, like that one wizard that keeps trying to get onto your Ragnarok island.
Oh my god! Listen, I'm gonna make something about that, because that was classic. I remembered that guy.
Somehow, some way, that's getting into the lore of Gloria. Just this wizard that keeps getting his shit stopped.
Latia says one of her primary goals in life is to make Noir feel feelings.
Never. I'll feel nothing and be proud. Just like my father before. for me.
And
this
also,
is gross. Where's my apology when you all played D&D instead of babysitting me, says Joy.
Joy, I'm literally starting a production company because you made a joke and now I have to make it real.
Oops.
Hey, listen, Joy, I hope you know that I tried as best I could to help you out there. I remember.
Wow!
Hey, listen. It's not my fault that copy of Naruto wound up in that GameCube that I never got back. Listen, I'm hoping you had a good time playing the games that I left over there. Because listen, if he wasn't gonna do it, at least I know I could just give you the fuel that you needed to just, get lost in a video game. That's the best place.
Chris did try. Fuck, he's right. Sorry, dude. I love Naruto now. Sorry, I turned you into a small business owner.
Y'all see what I had to deal with growing up.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh my
I love
god.
it, though. Also, that's kind of a nugget drop that we haven't really said out loud that you just mentioned.
Tell me about it.
Okay, fine. So I've been saving up. I have found a studio. I have found a production team.
We have a Twitter account and a logo.
We have a Twitter account, a logo. Right now we are just working on scheduling some promotional stuff. But I am sick of everything being in LA. And so we're going to try and do our own thing here in Chicago. So coming soon. We'll just spill the whole beans.
Just spill the beans.
Soon,
Spill the
coming
beans.
soon. We are putting together something that we're calling Lakeshore Die, DIE, which is a production company where we're going to be putting in studio games in Chicago. Right now, I'm kind of reaching out to publishers to see who's all interested. Right now, I'm in conversations with Vampire the Masquerade to get a Chicago by Night game going. But Chicago by Night is taken. There is already an actual play called Chicago by Night. So we are going to be Chicago by Night, BI. And it's going to be a LGBTQAI plus stream focusing on vampires that live in Boys Town in Chicago, who are dealing with being kindred and queer in Chicago. So that's going to be the first game that we are looking to bring out. Are you aware that I know one of the writers of the Chicago Vampire book? I am not familiar with that. I did not know that, but any help that we could get would be appreciated. So we've got a couple of things already booked. We're using the production team for that works at Gen Con. Also, they're the ones that me, Latia, and a couple of friends did a game. I think we're going on 2 years ago now.
It's about longer than that.
That never came out.
3 years.
3 years ago. They were lovely to work with.
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah, they were lovely to work with. I've experienced working with them. And we also are in the midst of negotiating a deal with an editor who will be editing all of this together. The goal is to put together maybe 2 episodes of like maybe 3 different games. And we're gonna at some point do a Kickstarter to see if there's any interest in funding. I've also applied for several grants, Chicago artist grants, to help us fund this. Basically, I went out to LA to talk to a bunch of people who run studios. I was fortunate enough to have conversations with Brennan. I was fortunate enough to have conversations with Zach over at Hyper Studios to get some advice on how to go about this. And we're just doing the damn thing. We want Chicago. Listen, there's so much talent in Chicago. Just me, Omnis, and Latia came from the same high school, and we're kind of doing our own things all over the place. But that inspired me because I believe that there's so much talent here. We are the home of Herald Improv. We are the home of Second City. We are the home of IO Theater. We are the home of Annoyance Theater. There is so much storytelling and love of communal storytelling here in the city that I don't see why this hasn't already existed. So if you want something to exist, make it. And this all started because Joy walked into my house and was like, we're making a production studio now. And I was like, okay.
And Joy is co-founder and CEO of our Slay and Yas division.
Absolutely.
The focus is also to provide a platform for up and coming actual play performers. We're putting a focus on Zoomers. But we're also gonna have a few old heads in there to kind of lead the way, because I truly believe that the responsibility of any production company, I truly believe the onus is on us to open the door for folks. So that's gonna be the focus of what we do here at Lakeshore Die. And I hope that you all like it. I'm not very organized. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't have a lot of connections, but I love this city. I love the people in it. I love the stories that I've seen us tell already, and I think that you will too. So
I think
there we go.
I think the key goal is to create good stories with good people and help foster a new generation of TTRPG.
So expect to see Joy at the table. Expect to see Omnis. Omnis, you don't have a choice. I know where you live.
Latias just says you're really going to make me come into the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I mean, I'm going to make you come into the suburbs because it's going to be... Well, actually, that's kind of the kicker. We've got 4 different studios. We got 4 different studios that I'm currently negotiating with. A couple of them, well, 2 of them.
You're gonna make Latia travel, is the point.
We love it.
Leave my lair.
2 of them are paid by the hour, and 2 of them are paid by month. Like it's a monthly rent. Mm-hmm. It's like a monthly rent of like 300 or 400 something bucks, and I can eat that. I'm talking like business, like on the street, which is probably not a good idea, but fuck it. Transparency has always been my thing. And if we get the monthly space, then that means that we can set design it however we want, and just kind of. And so I like the idea of being able to change sets for each actual play. We've already got a volunteer for set designer, which I'm very appreciative. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, B. Really appreciate you stepping up to do that for us. It's just a matter now of putting.
Yeah, we got to get them here so that way we can actually get that going.
And
set
listen,
pieces.
I'm not a stranger to bringing folks from Canada to Chicago.
They're in Florida.
Oh, even easier. But it's just a matter of finding the right contracts, putting pen to paper, and then building a budget. So we're gonna do this thing. I'm going in expecting. I'm going in to this with no other expectations other than to tell a good story for as long as we can. If this ends up being something that people like, then great. But fuck it. I'm
Joyce,
sick of flying to LA, goddammit!
Joy says Lakeshore
Yeah,
Die
that's
is all
all.
about bringing Gen Z into the space, but in a slay fun way. Get ready to see my friends and myself wrecking millennials, and then the Lakeshore Die sexy cast calendar.
That one's gonna be very hard for me to agree to. The sexy calendar,
Well,
your boy has body image issues.
Well, now here's the deal. Your portion of the calendar is an audio version. You just read out the dates.
well,
Yes.
Tuesday,
well,
October 13th.
the thing about that, and you all might have noticed this from my Twitter, for the past year and a half, I have been focusing on buying props, and the reason that I've been doing that is because I also want to put together trailers and snippets and like to make this a little bit more cinematic. Right now, I have 3 DSLR cameras and a drone and a ton of filming and photography equipment specifically for this. I listen. I bought. Well, I had an armor gifted to me by Anita. Thank you so much, baby. And as I put on the armor and as I looked at it, I only had one thought, which is, this looks okay on me. I know who it would look great on, and that is the armor that at some point I am going to put Mr. OmnisX in, and we're going to take some cool shots.
This is
I-
news to me.
I also have body issues, my friend, and I know how to make myself feel attractive, which is to look like a machine of death. And I think that would also work for you. So,
You know, I'm not going to lie. Not very long ago, I was making comments about how much I loved Beast Wars, and if anybody can make me feel like a transformer, then I think that might work.
so we've got 2 3D printers to print out new props should we need them. So if we do like a fantasy, like a sci-fi game, we can print out blasters and sci-fi armor and all that kind
Oh
of
my
stuff.
God.
Listen, I'm going whole hog into this thing. This announcement is a little premature, so you got an exclusive.
Yes.
I slipped of the tongue, and so that's how
Stay tuned for the official announcements.
yeah.
Whoops,
Stay tuned
whoops.
for the official announcements. But I'm just here to say that Chicago's fucking here. We've had a fucking enough of traveling all over the goddamn place to be in studio and have quality games in studio. And so we're going to fucking do this thing.
Hey,
Hell yeah.
I am glad to support this.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is sort of something that I've been very amped up about, is getting like a studio game going, but knowing that we actually are trying to build something super cool around it, not just a single actual play in studio, but an actual production team and company. I'm very excited. But we've been at this for about an hour and a half. Do we want to take a quick 10-minute break on that note?
Sure.
I'm cool with that. We'll come back. Well, actually, no, we can't. We can't leave just yet.
Okay.
We can't leave just yet because there's a few questions that I have to ask.
Okay.
And I'm reluctant to ask this question because I'm always reluctant because I don't want my heart broken. But you would not be getting the authentic morning ritual experience if I didn't ask this. So there is a war in the TTRPG community between people who see these as just dice. You grab them, you roll them, you get the number, you play the game. And then there are those that see this as forbidden candies that are meant to be crunched. Now, I am aware that there are edible dice, but they say that's crunching. They want to crunch. Some of us think that that's dangerous. It's a dental hazard. It's a choking hazard, but they say must crunch. So I need to know, OmnisX, what side of this war are you on? Are you on team Stop the Crunch? Or are you on team Crunch Crew? Or are you gonna be a fucking coward like Anita and Brennan Lee Mulligan? That's right. And pick crotch responsibly, which makes no sense because you can't do something irresponsibly responsibly.
So, just as conveniently enough, AJ has brought up a very important point. The last time I was asked this question, I said that I'm not responsible for you. I would like to define that statement slightly further by introducing a new faction.
Another one, let's do it.
A new faction who may or may not be new, but maybe doesn't have the right title. And I would like to say that there should be crunchionaries.
Crotchionaries? Okay, run this by me.
Very simple. I normally don't eat dice. I normally won't take these little forbidden candies and put them in my mouth.
Right.
However, for a modest fee, things can be bought.
A crunch mercenary. A crunchionary.
Are you a crotch hoe?
Listen. I would like to inform you. I would like to inform everyone watching.
Are you about to launch your only crotch?
A check is a check.
Listen, that is how the game is played, right? It is very simple. You're very simple. I have no incentive at the moment to indulge those who want to see crunching. However, I can surely do so. If you need a crunch, I can create it as many as you want.
Don't you quote Devil May Cry at me, you son of a bitch!
You can't stand your asses.
That's the truth of it.
Prostitution.
I fucking hate it here. I want to go home.
Listen.
I want to go home.
Listen, normally I'm on your side, buddy, but you know what? We gotta hustle out here.
We gotta cross blades on this one. I think this is more deadly than anything we've ever heard on this goddamn
listen.
goddamn stream.
You've got to admit, there are people who just want to do the thing. They
Right.
want to eat the dice, and they will. And that's the people who you have a war with. I'm saying I can be hired for either side. Either I can say, I won't do this, and I'm going to enforce that, or someone can say, hey, how do you like this bag of money? Would you like?
Murder Rose. Okay, question. If someone makes a die with a tiny Tide Pod floating within it, does that increase or decrease the desire to crunch? Just sign a crunch tract.
I fucking hate it here.
Love Murder Rose, I would like to tell you that if someone makes a dice with a tiny Tide Pod floating in it, and they ask you to crunch it, there is a responsibility made by the person who is attempting to sign that contract to find out if that die will break. Because if it does, now you have an actual murder to perform.
Died Pod.
Oh my god.
Thank you, Sam.
I can't.
I appreciate you.
I cannot with this motherfucker.
Hey, listen.
Prostitution.
Listen, it's amazing. It's amazing. Listen,
that's a brand new faction. I thought you were gonna go with the let them die. Personally,
no, of course not. Of course not. Listen, it's really funny to think about it this way. A lot of things have their price. You can make an only crunch if you want. Somebody will fund it. We live in the age of information. I can pick up my phone right now and find the best information or the most degenerate information I want. If I want to see people crunch, I can provide.
This conversation is right up there
saying.
with Lou Wilson's. If I have 25 in con, can I eat light bulbs?
I hate this so much. Okay,
Listen.
so there's a follow-up question that I always ask,
Mhm.
especially when people disappoint me.
Hmm.
Which is
Sure.
this. If you could play with any 5 people that are alive right now, you get to choose who's the GM. You don't count for the 5, but they have to be alive. Who are you picking? Suffer.
Okay. Okay. So, well, I've been successfully trapped yet again. So because I legitimately I thought about this yesterday, and I was like, I'm gonna write these answers down, and then I never did. So, here's what I'm gonna say. You said 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, I
Apparently,
want.
Banana Chan is in with you for the prostitution faction. AJ has been actually compiling a list of all the factions and who's part of them for a
Uh-huh.
project we're working on.
Oh yes, I love that. I love
We're,
that.
we're making wanted posters of all the people that crunch.
Listen, if I've got a wanted poster, just make sure it's the One Piece style. That's it.
Anyways,
'Cause-
5 people.
All right.
You're good.
So, I suppose my 5 people are going to be. I know I want Lou Wilson at the table. I want
Solid.
Abria at the table. I want Gabe Hicks at the table. And you know what? Even though I can choose, I still want you and Latia at the table.
That table would be fucking baller.
And I want to GM
Ooh.
because I want, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want the extra Sith, the 6th, because I want Joy at the table as well, because I want the unhingedness that would come from new people dipping into an old world, right? Because it's the collapse already happened, the world split, it came apart, it split again, it's doing all its things, and I just want, if not just a traditional either D&D or Cypher system game, I want to play, like, in my head there's a finished version of I Am the Beyond where you all get to be Eldritch Abominations as a unit, and I want that so bad. I have to continue writing this game. The general version is on itch.io right now, and it's pretty good. I've had people tell me they loved it. I want
You got a link for us,
more.
buddy?
Oh yeah, of
Put
course.
that in the chat. Let
Put it
me
in
play
chat.
your game.
Let me go find it real quick because
Let's see. I'm gonna race you. I'll see if I can find it.
yeah, all I have to do is just go to my
I kind of
page.
want to add a 7th seat to your game just to have Iffy there.
Oh my god, Iffy would be hilarious.
I'm gonna GM Iffy for the first time.
Latia beat us both to it.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm gonna be GMing Iffy for the first time in a couple of weeks here, and it's just like the table's already just so horny.
I believe that. Listen, I choose not to be horny at the table only because I don't know who I'm playing with and the levels of comfort.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I can be a monster when it comes to being horny. Like, legitimately just terrifying. Right? I just don't at the moment because I'm like, hey, I don't want to weird anybody out because usually I'm also the GM. And I'm also playing with people who I'm just like, I don't want to weird you out. I don't want you to think weird things of me when I'm just like, hey, like, I'm just not gonna say out in the open, I'm staring at this paladin's ass. Like, I mean, she's got to be built, right? Right. That's the thing. I was allowed to be pointing at people who see me differently. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, I listened to the Dungeons and Dragons. I listened to y'all talk about your favorite genres, and you said yandere, which I'm like, hey, buddy. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, you don't want that life. I've kind of lived it, but at the same time, I can see the appeal because of the degenerate stuff that I get into. So
I can't tell you how much pushback I got on that yandere answer. I still got people talking to me about that, like, really, bro? And I'm like, that sucks.
Well, I mean, apparently you now have made an enemy for life.
Oh no! Listen, Joy. Just when it's just for you, I am one of your biggest fans. I will support you.
Jesus Christ! Fuck! I'm a goddamn brother!
Well, I mean,
That's what it is.
That is what it is.
Listen, Noir. You are a long-standing friend of mine, so I'm like, it is a delight to hear your voice and to be present when you guys are laughing. It is amazing. It's amazing.
That's the reason why Joy has this specific sequence of emotes tied to.
What is happening?
Railed to death. Yes, there it is.
Yeah, I'm about to see a man cut his own head off with a foam axe.
Oof.
Railed to death emojis.
We love it here.
But I
In the
think
cursed lands.
that's a good point, Zeddy, for us to take a quick break.
Short break.
But there's one last question.
One question?
One last question.
Okay,
I'm so
Sure.
sorry.
You're good.
Sure.
We've been talking about Ragnarok Online a whole bunch.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
We're already at 2. Listen, I knew as soon as we were like, we're gonna have Omnis as a guest, this was gonna be a long one.
It's all good.
You are God King of the TTRPG space for one day, and any 3 things you want to have happen, happens.
Okay.
Snap of a finger. If you want like, let's say Magpie to be as big as Google or some crazy shit like that.
You just got quiet again, babe. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
your volume just dropped for no reason.
I hate Zoom so goddamn much.
Rough.
Is it better now?
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah.
My gain is literally at max. Anyway, I'm just gonna talk louder then. Any 3 things you want to have happens.
Mm-hmm.
Snap of a finger. What
Mhm.
3 things do you do?
Okay. Well, I think I'm giving 3 options. Wow, that's a lot,
Yeah.
actually. That's a lot. I thought it was like one thing before. Now it's 3. Oh boy.
Now it's 3 whole things.
Okay, cool. I think the first thing I would do to accomplish multiple goals at once. I don't know if I'm going to get monkey pawed for this one, but I'm going to take all of the money that is currently in dark politics and put it into the hands of TTRPG players.
Jesus Christ! Listen, everybody comes here and says that they want TTRPG to get more money.
Mhm.
We don't generally get where the money comes from. We just get that they want more money in TTRPG. That's fucking brilliant.
I want a source, and I want to make sure those folks that are just like, oh yeah, you took a couple $100,000 bribe. Well, now that's going to,
Now that's going to Lakeshore Die.
right. It's
No,
going
I'm
to
just
Lakeshore Die. It can go to the studios that need it. Secondly, I think that I would love to see more of a union.
Defund the
Sorry.
government.
Defunding the government. Oh no, the government got regular salaries. I'm talking about all that dark shit. Like y'all taking bribes behind back doors. No
Every time a
sir.
lobbyist cuts a check, an
Yep.
actual play gets money.
Yeah. Absolutely. You'd be surprised then because oh man, that works in so many systems. Secondly, I think I would definitely love for there to be there to be not necessarily more money in the space after that, but what I want to see is just let me change the way I said that. Better background checks. You know, we've got a lot of folks out here. Like, listen, I probably shouldn't say this, but here we are. There have been a lot of folks who have been writing the OGL nonsense to this day. And we don't know whether or not y'all are doing it for the clout or if you're doing it because you're actually pissed off. I want to know. I want to know. Make your opinions known, friend. That's it. Like, we want a background check. You come in here like not like a week ago. What was that arcane ninja thing that just went down? Buddy. Buddy.
Oh.
Like, I hate to say this because I'm a millennial. This is something a millennial would have done 20 years ago when it was still okay to say the F slur on the TV. Yeah. Don't do this anymore.
Love it.
And third, I think it would just be fuck it, let's get vicious. Purge racists.
Oh, that's not vicious. That's light work.
Yeah, but no, like just
the
saying
vicious
it
part
outright.
of that. The vicious part about that would be seeing who's gone from the space after that happens.
Yeah.
Can you imagine we get the Infinity Gauntlet and we're like, but no more races. And just seeing who's not there anymore.
Yeah, you would be surprised. And that's the thing. It's like, for me, I see so much work. Okay, so not gonna lie to y'all, there is a lot of like inner paranoia, I'd say, but as a consequence of being a black man, I have to be hyper vigilant about my surroundings. And so sometimes I'll see some shit and be like, yo, that don't sit right with me. That don't sit right. But you know what? You do you. And as soon as somebody comes up to defend you in the wrong way, I'm just like, okay, I'm seeing the dog whistle. Are y'all seeing the dog whistle? Is anybody else seeing this dog whistle? I want not only to find out, that's like basically two wishes. I use two wishes right there, basically to say, I want to know who the racists are and I want them out. Because now that I got a background check on you, you're on thin ice. Now I got the Infinity Gauntlet, I could just cast you out.
Oh,
that's it.
You know what? Oh, you just gave me a new wish.
Did I?
Me a new wish.
Tell me.
I wish that anytime anybody tried to use a dog whistle, they were under the effects of Zone of Truth.
Oh, buddy.
That's how you end up with politicians not using their alt account and saying, as a black man. Listen,
when I saw that shit on the internet, I was like, y'all can't be real. Y'all can't be real. You really forgot to switch accounts? You have
Man,
so much money.
just double check and verify before you think you're using your sock puppet account.
I mean,
Zone of say the quiet part out loud. Yes, Sam.
Yes, there it is.
Yes. Zone of say the quiet part out loud. Yes. I mean, could you imagine how less we would hear the word woke if that were real?
Oh my god.
Inequity gauntlet.
There it is.
Well, time to start writing up the stats for that one. Okay, so those are my light roast questions. We can now take our break. We'll come back with the dark roast. I really hope that you guys are enjoying this. I've been having a blast. And we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
All right, see you soon. We'll be right back.
Woo!
I love it
Wait,
here.
there it is.
Hello, you
Hello. Beautiful motherfuckers.
First and foremost, I hope that my sound is fixed. If I sound better, please let me know in chat. Second off, let's get into the dark roast.
Third
We call
off,
it the dark.
I have a bagel.
Yes, you do, babe. Yes, you do. The dark roast is usually where we talk about more serious topics, or at least that's what it was originally planned as. But we just kind of keep going with the conversation as it was.
Yeah.
There are specific questions that we ask of the dark roast, but we'll come to those naturally. I kind of wanna start on a different rail here, which is what you're establishing your presence in the space. Which again, I cannot tell you how excited I am about that. These motherfuckers are simply not ready. But I have to ask, what are some of your plans? Like, what are some of the things that you want to do now that you're making your way into this space? Like, you've already kind of come in. You're doing actual plays. You've designed the game. Which, first off, how dare you? I haven't made anything yet. I've been here for 3 years. Way to show me up, motherfucker.
Hey, listen, it's all you, buddy. You helped me get there.
But like, what are some of the plans that you have, or what are some of your goals that you have whilst in the space?
Listen, if anybody wants a bagel, stop by. I'll make you one.
There it is. So I think one of the first goals I've got is, I think, to take traditionally, like, it's a weird way to look at it because this has never been true in the first place, but media kind of has this portrayal of what is traditionally white. And I kind of want to take that extra space. Like, Call of Cthulhu is like, eldritch beings and abominations, and you don't want to go crazy and stuff like that, which, again, that's a loaded word. I'm sorry. I apologize, and I will move on. But you don't want that stuff to influence your mind and all sorts of stuff. But it's been traditionally, like, I despise the term Lovecraftian because I'm like, does anybody really remember what Lovecraft did? Like,
does anybody know what his cat's name was?
Right? Can y'all, like, for real? Like, this dude was very, very, like, racist and probably xenophobic, and who knows what other kind of, iss he was. But
you mind if I go on a quick tangent, just real quick?
Feel free.
As a newly minted cat daddy, how dare you name your cat that? Like, cats. Listen, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. I was a dog guy all my life. I was all about dogs, and that was it. Like, I love them to death. I wanna boop every snoot. I wanna snuggle them all up. But like, I have a cat, Watson, and
You have to say his full name. Lydia is demanding.
How dare you ask me to say my cat's full government name on this channel when I won't even say my government name on this channel? You will address him simply as Lord Captain.
Count Dr. Captain Hunter B. Watson III, first of his name of Monte Cristo, Benjamin J. Sisko, you betrayed your uniform. A Tribe Called Quest, Bankai, Questlove, to Kitty 69, 420 YOLO Swag, Enigma Esquire.
I'm sorry, babe. It's Count Dr. Captain Hunter B. Watson III, first of his name of Monte Cristo, being J. Sisko, you betrayed your uniform. A Tribe Called Quest, Bankai, Questlove, to Kitty 69, 420 YOLO Swag.
We forgot about Cambria.
Cambria, Omayu Washinderu, Enigma Esquire.
So, two of those things because I unfortunately that kind of opened the nerd rage for me. Two of those things. Bankai for sure. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. I will be referring to Watson as Bankai from now on. Because that is so cool. But secondly,
we need to tack on Vash the Stampede, the humanoid typhoon.
and pass out from.
I can't do that. That's part of Kenway's name, if I recall correctly.
Oh boy. But secondly, just as an aside, I watch a lot of anime. Noir has touched on this. I was the anime guy back in the day. And when the the meme happened, the "you were already dead" meme started gaining popularity, they were using a clip from the very first episode. And the reason I know this is because of the cadence in which he speaks. It's "Omae wa mo shinderu," not "Omae wa mo shinderu." That is the first episode before the character was established. There is a pause between mo and then shinderu every time. So if I hear you say it the wrong way, I will correct you.
I'm sorry. Where's Watson? I'm sorry, my son. I failed you.
No, you didn't fail him. You just needed to say the name with the cadence. There's where you take your breath. Omae wa mo shinderu. And now back to Trump. So what was the question again?
Oh, what are some of your plans in this space?
Oh, that's right.
What you planning?
Yeah. So in essence, the things that are traditionally associated with like whiteness, we're starting to see some headway in that. Like, I was never truly like a horror person back in the day. I never was. But then, believe it or not, the first horror movie that I actually saw and paid attention to was by recommendation by Noir himself, which was the first Saw movie. And then also the second one. So here's the thing. I tell you this with my whole chest. Saw 1 and 2 are phenomenal movies that do not have as much blood in them as you think they will. Saw 3 and up, I have not seen, because within the first 5 minutes of Saw 3, they just wanted to kill people. And I'm like, that's not fun. So
can I give you a confession?
Sure, go ahead.
You ever hear something and realize, oh my god, I think I am an asshole? I've never seen Saw. I recommended that to you as a joke. I am too afraid to watch those movies.
Holy shit. Wow.
We're just learning things today about like deep backstory lore.
Bro, well, I'll tell you something. Fun fact.
Yes.
Either way, it worked. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it because I was like, hey, like, one of the foundational scenes for me is like one of the things that like made me love that movie was the bear trap scene. So I'll go over it really quickly. Basically, this woman has a reverse bear trap on her head that if she doesn't solve the puzzle and get the key, it's going to blow her head up. That's very simple. A spoiler alert. B, trigger warning for gore and all that stuff.
Morning.
In short, she is stuck to this chair, and the puppet comes on, and Buddy tells her, you got to get out of here. Look, there's a body over there. You got to get the key. The key's in there. And there's this shot where the music picks up and it does this spin around shot of her like just like moving very fast, very quickly in this chair, like trying to escape. And that was one of the foundational scenes for why I liked horror so much. I'm like, this is intense. It's not somebody dying, it's someone trying to survive. And that is what I enjoyed. So Fast forward to very recently, the movie Get Out. Get Out comes out. Jordan Peele reveals himself to be an absolute mastermind. Truth in case, I want everybody on this to appreciate this. The character's main name is also Chris. So, if you haven't watched Get Out, I want you to understand this. That movie is an absolute worst case scenario when I moved away. So I related to that character more than most. And it was a phenomenal movie. And I'm like, this is amazing. I like horror. I like the descriptions of the things that lurk in the dark. Like, I realized, and this is going to sound really weird, when I first got into like the creepypasta era, right? That stuff scared the mess out of me. Like, when I first heard about Slender Man, I had like problems. But what happened? I'm not going to lie to you. I don't understand why it worked, but it worked. What happened was that I was trying to go to sleep tonight, having a very difficult time. And what I imagined was that there was a creature that was worse than Slender Man, that was on my side. And somehow that gave me enough comfort to go to sleep.
No, I think that makes sense I think that makes sense in a way.
Yeah, it kind of does. Like, but it was like, to put that in perspective, it's like, I've normally only seen horror as Defender Man. I've only ever seen horror as like a slasher film, like people are making the wrong choices and dying foolishly, and I didn't want anything to do with it. And then I realized that it's about survival. And one of the facets of the game that I made was literally like, hey, you are now bonded to this creature that wants...
God damn it, Latia. Latia posted in chat. One could say it's about
drive.
It's about drive.
It's about power.
It's about thunder.
We stay hungry. It devours.
It devours.
Let's think about Rock being good at everything.
Right. But yeah, so I'm like, I want to get into those spaces where it's just like, hey, I haven't seen too many like Black horror made games. And that was one of the things I wanted to accomplish was with I Am the Beyond. It's like, you're tethered to this monster and you are the creeping thing. It's part of you. You can fit into a space so minuscule and belong there. And then once the thing, whatever you don't want to see you passes, you can just slither on out. You can say the most ridiculous things out in the open and no one will believe you because you're basically supposed to be a comedian. People trust you because you're a doctor, but in truth, you just know how to reconstitute their bones in the wrong fashion. They still work. So like, I started getting more and more into it. The Magnus Archive, shout out to them, a very big inspiration for the weird things that go on in this little place here. Because I'm like, oh, I get it now. There was always a part of me that just was terrified. Honestly, again, slightly more ominous lore. One of the first things I ever recall being scared by was Michael Jackson. The Thriller video, I was done, right? As soon as I saw that, I was out. I cried. I was like, what, 4 or 5? I don't know when that came out, but I was done. I was in tears. My cousin and my brother wanted me to watch that, and I could not have it. So yeah, it's just, I want to flip that space on its head. Like, that's one of the first things I want to do, is have more Black folk who are comfortable with it. I'm seeing it happen in movies. I want to see it happen in the TTRPG space.
I like that. I think people are kind of waking up to just how awesome Black horror is. I've known for some time because Tales from the Hood still scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, I have not gone back. I have not gone back and watched that.
I saw that one time and I'm like, I'm good. Never again. Never again. Nope.
Love to hate that movie. Look, I guess I got to go back and watch it because
I'll watch it with you. I'm not excited for it because I'm still scared.
Morning Ritual
Yeah.
Patreon goal. You two have a watch party of Tales from the Hood.
oh man, Tia's got to
With
come
Latia?
too.
If you want to see,
And
a
I'll
grown
be
man
the
cry.
token white watching Tales from the Hood.
I love this premise.
Oh, that's you've always had like a hand in horror, and I blame you for my love of yandere. Oh, and let me explain why.
Okay, tell me about it.
Listen, I made a character who I wanted to be kind of like the ultimate cop. Like if you've ever seen Odo from Deep Space Nine, that's kind of who this guy was. His name was Duke Wellington Barbosa the Third.
Third, I know where this is going now.
And
that motherfucker.
yes,
Mhm.
you've also met him. And he, like, if he's Sherlock, then his Moriarty was this character named Serenity, who was a nightmare weaver. And in the lore, she's the one that gets away every time. Like, she's the Joker. And it stops being like a chase, and it kind of became a dance between those two until ultimately she corrupts him, and then like he kind of becomes like a possession. Like if anybody looks at him, she would kind of deal with it because that's her cop. Like he's supposed to chase me. What is he doing? Like not chasing me? How dare you? Who are you after? You're after this person? Well, I'm gonna kill them. Aren't I more interesting? Now go back to chasing me, goddammit. And then they ultimately fall in love, have a kid, and he becomes an outlaw as well. And that was just such a fun. Yeah, she is a fucking. Latia hates her.
Actually, now I can see why yandere is your thing. Latia has seen the
So-
light.
Fun fact about Serenity, y'all. Serenity Celestia has been one of she is the second true OC that I have. The first one followed by after my core character Chrono. She is I'll describe her for you. She is a petite white woman with dark red amber hair and with black streaks in it. She often is spotted wearing a lab coat, and she has these big Coke bottle glasses, and her hair she wears in pigtails up top. These pigtails often conceal the fact that her hair, two of the bangs, usually are shaped like horns.
Quit looking at me so loud, Anita.
If there's something I'm missing, I'm going to find out later. But Serenity has always been a menace. She was actually in the first game that I DM'd for Noir. And basically, Noir played Duke. He was, I imagine he was a paladin. I can't remember. I think he was a paladin or a cleric.
He was a cleric of Saint Cuthbert,
Mhm.
or Cuthbert, who
Saint
is
Cuthbert.
the god of law and justice, but it's not like the good kind. It's like, oh, you broke the law, I'm gonna break your ankles.
Right. Basically, this is the this was police brutality before we understood the true horror of it. But in general, what wound up happening was that Serenity was always going to be an evil character. And eventually she split from the party because she got found out. All she wants to do is study why people are afraid of things, which was other thing that I had back in the day, because I'm just like, I don't understand why I'm afraid of so many different things. So I put that into Serenity. And as she grew, Duke was like, no, I gotta bring her in. She's killing people. And I'm the DM of the story. So I'm like, well, that can't happen. But as Noire mentioned, there were times, I'm gonna spill a little bit here. It makes zero sense, but I remember there were times when we just sat in my car until like 2 or 3 in the morning, where we talked about the story, where we talked about what these characters would do back and forth, and we just kept going until eventually we started writing our own fanfic for our own characters. And I promise you, I still have a copy of one of the original. Yeah. We still have the original. And can I say the name?
Absolutely.
Okay. So it was called When Bad Meets Evil. And they forged an uneasy alliance. Now, after our paths split, Serenity still existed in my world. Every person who I've introduced Serenity to has hated her with an absolute passion, because all she does is like, hey, I want to kill a bunch of people, walk away from that with new knowledge. But she's worse. She just keeps existing. She keeps corrupting things. That's all she wants to do, to see how depraved can people get. And Duke was one of the first casualties of that. And yeah, I carried that with me.
A whole lot.
Yeah. Okay. I get it now. Listen,
I
this
apologize
circle,
for nothing.
This circle is great. Hey, listen, you set me up with a love for horror movies by introducing me to Saw, and then I set you up for liking Yandere. So here we are.
Damn it,
and petite white women with reddish hair.
Oh, that's what you were glasses. Looking. Oh no!
Well, that's been this episode of Morning Ritual, everybody. I hope you have a good time.
Oh no! We love that.
I'm not putting my hair in pigtails, motherfucker.
Hey, listen. All I'm saying is that if you ever go back to pure red, or if you do it, you still won't have the lab coat, so it's okay.
I've got a lab coat.
Oh, all right. Well, you should have added that. Uh-oh.
Babe, I think it still has blood on it.
Oh, it has blood on it.
I bought a lab coat.
As though that makes it any worse. I think that actually helps the effect, honestly.
This is incredible. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I had been out of the scene, and like I said, I apologize to Noire. I was just like, man, I don't know how much damage I did with these actions. I don't think he's ever gonna be my friend the same way again. And here we are, right? And I realize now, in this moment, I'm being dead serious right now. I realize in this moment how much of an effect that I had on Noire, and it warms me to my core, y'all. Like,
I told you, buddy, I wasn't just bullshit. I was just like, when you came back, I was like, motherfucker, let's ride.
Yeah, let's ride. There is something unique about Noire, and all I could say is support them.
And support Omnis, goddammit. Like,
oh.
We gonna
have
to turn the cameras off in a bit.
Well,
I didn't even look back. I just saw it in the camera, and I'm like, well,
no.
Oh my
god. Shit. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. And here I'm gonna throw some trigger warnings for relationship stuff. Serenity often, like in my world now, her primary goal was simply to find a body that she could sit in and not necessarily be immortal, but something stronger than she was, because she was frail. If I had to put her in D&D terms now, her dump stat would be Constitution.
Yeah.
So she was always on the lookout for a more suitable body, which spawns her desire to have either a child that she can, implant some part of her psyche in, or to find a body that she can plant some part of her psyche in. That has been a constant throughout. I'm pretty sure that's why Eternity is the way she is also, because their kid, if I recall, is named Eternity. Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
There it is.
Which the Kingsguard also met.
Oh, we met Eternity?
Oh,
Yeah.
Was she the one sitting out the ads that was sitting on looking at the over the nothingness?
No, she was the one that was starting to guide you guys through the realm of dreams for a little bit there.
Hmm. Oh shit.
Well, Noir is going to the sunken place. Just a quick aside about that. I cannot tell you how much more terrifying Get Out is when you're in an interracial relationship. Like,
I was.
I was just like, oh, no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It like the character. It was my name. It was my character in the movie. It was named Chris. The main character's name is Chris. I am a Chris. Watching that movie, I'm not even gonna lie to you, right? The scene in the beginning of the movie where the deer gets hit, that almost happened to me. Right? I'm driving in this Ford Escort, right? A Ford Escort ZX2.
Oof.
Because that was the car. It's late. It's late. And I'm driving in the South. There's virtually no streetlights except at like intersections. So I'm driving home. It's like 12 or 1 a.m. My partner at the time is in the car, and I'm like, it's dark out here. I should turn on the brights. I turn on the brights, and the first thing I see is a deer, a buck, standing in the middle of the road, looking at me, and I swerve. I am very fortunate I didn't like put the car in a ditch because I was very close to it. But yeah, that was a genuinely terrifying moment in my life. And seeing that basically happen on screen, I'm just like, man, this truly is the worst case scenario.
My partner at the time when that movie came out lived in Missouri, and I would drive to Missouri to see them, and I almost had the exact same experience, and I was just like, okay.
Right, a family in Ohio. I understand you entirely, Lamia. But yeah, so ultimately my goal is to like start making space for that. Like, I don't see enough of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm starting to see it more in like the comedic aspect. Like when Gabe did the thing on Dimension 20, there was a whole like, monster high school thing. And I'm like, this is cool. But it was more like romantic than it was genuinely like, let's just terrify things. But I also like in my space, I'm like, here's the idea. I made this game so that we could be those creatures because we've kind of had enough of being terrorized all the time.
Yeah.
So let's give us those powers. That's what my game is about. And further plans, I think I just want to create more. Legitimately it. Like I want more of my creations to be known. Like I want someone as funny as it is, I want to see some of our characters appear in cosplay someplace. Like, could you imagine how cool it would be? Just you're at Gen Con and you see somebody walking around as Duke Wellington Barbosa, and you're just like,
The third.
The third. Specifically the third, not the second or the first, though they'd be seen.
Yeah. Like I've gotten to the point where I've had some really talented and amazing and gracious folks make fan art of some of the characters
That hits.
that I've played. And listen, the first time it happened, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I weeped like a baby. Like so yeah, I absolutely get that, and I want to get to that level, and more than that, I want to get my favorite storytellers to that level where people are enjoying what we do to the point where they see themselves in it. Like, I mean, it's like spending any amount of time bringing an aspect of somebody else's story to life is already a gift, but to like use your skills to become that character, like, holy fuck, I can only imagine what that's like.
Yeah. And
I
I want to
mean,
get
you
there.
use your skills to become your characters quite often.
I'm not like a real cosplayer though. Like, I'm just now getting ready to teach myself to sew.
So real quick, I'm going to touch on that because that's always the feeling. Like, I am not good enough. You are, first off. But secondly, there's an entirely different feeling when you see someone else identify with that character enough to do the same
Yeah.
thing. Like,
It's a
like
whole
when
other
I
level.
see, yeah, it's a whole nother level. When I see fan art of people's characters, I'm just like, this is amazing. Like, I identify with this character enough. I also draw, I do art, but the problem is that I'm starting to like realize, hey, I need to work on my fundamentals more. I've never been good at anatomy. I've always been good at expressions. So like people would see my art and go like, oh, okay, this character is clearly vicious. And I really loved that about the work that I did. And now I'm starting to rebuild on that. So I'm like, oh, if I could do fan art for other people, this would be great. So, hey,
I mean, I gotta tell you, it's really a treat having an artist in your campaign. You did a really fucking slick picture of Xander back in the day, and I lost it in the breakup. But god damn it, that was such a cool ass pic.
so I'm not sure which one it is, but you know what? I can probably make it again. And I had been thinking about it. Like legitimately, I'm not sure if I'm sitting
If you do
near
that,
the notebook,
if
but
you do that, that's getting framed and put on the wall.
all right.
Challenge
Consider
accepted.
it made. Consider it made. But yeah, and I think after that, I think the only other goal that I have is to get gift more. Right? Like I want people to be like, "Oh, this guy's cool. Here's a
Oh,
gift." And it's
this,
just boom,
this
there
is
it is.
this is the show for you because you will be a GIF at some point. I
I've
guarantee.
I've got one.
Yeah,
I
you
got
do?
one and I was so happy about that. I was like, "Oh my god, that's me."
Yeah, you got one from our show last
Yeah.
season.
Was
Yeah.
it Michael Wayne? Michael Wayne is like this.
No, actually, it wasn't Michael Wayne that gift Omnis. It was. I'm actually gonna scroll up through our clips and gifs chat in the Discord. Let me see if I can find it.
By the way, I was playing Travis Bagel at the time.
Travis
And
Bagel. We love Travis Bagel.
the
Or
the Boy Scout.
the son of the owner of Bagels.
Listen,
It
I
was
hate you so much for that.
Scribble Dribble.
Script. Yeah,
Scribble
it's another
Dribble
good
did
one.
one.
Yeah,
Did a bunch of.
honestly, shout out to everybody that makes gifts of
Mhm.
actual plays and TTRPG stuff. TTRPG gifts, Michael Wayne, Scribble, like just all of y'all. Thank you so much because I
Yeah.
can't tell you how much of a smile that puts on our faces, especially when we have gifts that we can use in response on Twitter. That's us.
Let me
Oh
know
my
if
God.
this link works in the chat.
Let's click. It does.
There.
So I'm gonna get to one of the questions that we always ask on the Dark Roast.
Mm.
This is a segment that we like to call Petty Primetime. This is where if you have something you need to get off your chest, or if you want to subtweet in real life, this is where you do it. I always lead by example, so I will go first. It's pretty. It's gonna be pretty obvious who I'm talking to, but if it is not your culture, and you do not have someone of that culture either participating in the creation of the project or consulting on the project, maybe don't do it.
Just maybe.
If you want to do a fun little ninja game, maybe set it in the world of Naruto or something. Like,
it's easy for you to say, "Hey, I like Naruto," and that inspired this game. Without,
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Also, listen, I'm not one to yuck anybody's yum or to like talk direct shit, but Canadian ninjas is a dumb idea. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
No, you're not. You're not wrong. Don't be sorry.
Can you imagine getting shanked in the shadows and just hearing sword?
Oh my god. I love that so much.
I use my Donnie grip jutsu.
You gotta have a training dojo in Toronto.
Tim Horton says his regards.
How dare you? What's even more fucked up is I did not see that coming.
Wow.
Maybe there is something to this Canadian ninja thing.
Amazing.
Canadian ninjas riding stealth moose.
Okay, a subtweet from me. This one, I mean, it may be obvious who I'm talking to. It may not. I don't know. From what I gather, if your game has a fucking race, history, or class that says, hey, these characters have bonuses in relation to slavery, scrap the book.
The whole book, burn it. Burn it to the ground.
So, I mean,
Jinx.
I had an experience. Also, I've had this experience in different times before, but I'm just not sure how many times, because it's just like, how many things can you like you kind of suppress that side of yourself when you're like a black nerd and still unsure about your own validity in the space.
Lord knows that's true.
And so here's my thing, right? Like, I was at a convention and somebody, won't say who, I was talking to some people who were making books about like stuff in the TTRPG space, and they started going on about their passion for this project, and I'm like, it's really, really good, and I'm having a good time all the way up until they say to me, to my face, that one of these races is ideal for slavery. They have a race that most of their whole backstory is that they are good at enslaving other people. And I'm like, huh, okay. And immediately, I like, there was a sending at the moment where I was just like, all right, the old me, right, one of the races ideal by killing by fire. But the whole thing was that you are pitching this to a black man, right? There are other black people present, and we heard you. And you thought it was a good idea to present a black man with the idea that there are some races in the book that do slavery. This is a thing you're talking to a potential buyer, and you couldn't just gloss over that.
That was a selling point for them.
Right. So in my heart, I'm like, okay, just scrap it.
Were they, you know?
I'm very, very excited. Oh, of course. They were very this color.
Okay.
And I'm like,
They were one of the 8.5 by 11s. Gotcha.
I've never heard that one before, but sure. So I'm like, okay, all right. And I walked away from that encounter, and I was like, this was, you were on a show floor, and I don't understand what possessed you to do it. So all I'm saying, for any other creators that have that in mind, just scrap the book. Just scrap it.
Just don't.
Like, because the thing is, we're always going to find out. I mean, we're always going to find out. Hell, they found out when Wizards did it, and Wizard paid a hell of a price. Like, people were up in arms about that like a couple days after the book was launched, but that wasn't a fucking selling point.
That wasn't,
you know what I mean?
That wasn't how you marketed it.
Right. And
Wizards didn't come out, hey, look at our race of monkey people.
Right. Like, y'all, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna ride Wizards' dick on this, but like the idea here is that they were just like, okay, we fucked up. Like, I don't know how any of this got past print, but we fucked it up. But some of these people were so gung-ho about it. It's just like, this is 100% a thing. Like, there are some folks who absolutely own it in their description. And I was just like, I remember reading that there was some TTRPG that was just like dropping hard R's and F slurs in the book. And I'm like, yo, dog, I don't know who you're trying to sell this to, but I mean, scrap the book. Just scrap it.
Like, there's multiple levels of what the fuck happening in this, which is 1, why did you write it? 2, why did you write it? And 3, like,
why the fuck did you write it?
And 4, even if you wrote it, in your pitch, how did you not consider your audience? That is...
Yeah. And I think that's the thing that gets me. So again, the subtweet is, if there's racism in the story and there's racism in the character class and you somehow have benefits from it, please scrap the book. But for this particular incident, all I'm going to ask is, in your pride of the creation that you wrote, why was that something you were proud of? Just tell me.
Like,
explain it to me.
When I hear shit like this,
So when I say the quiet part out loud.
When I hear shit like this, the first thing that I try to do is to understand, like, okay, let's see if I can see where they're coming from. Let's see how I could spin this really bad idea into a good idea in the head of somebody that's not thinking clearly. And the only thing that I could think that would make this make sense is this guy saw a problem, which was, problem is, people don't like slavery. So how do I make them feel good about having slavery in their game? Well, I'll create a race that's perfect for slavery. That's their whole deal. So now you don't have to feel bad about having slaves in your game, because that's what they're built for. And it's like...
It's that whole house elves things. They like it.
They pulled the JK. But they weren't JKing.
I don't know why that just hit me. Listen. As a fan, as a longtime fan of that series, all the way up until, oh my god, the turf drops. Just Like, I can't,
I
know.
get-
Have you
worse
ever
now.
seen somebody fumble the bag that hard?
Oh no, did you hear what she most recently said?
No.
The Death Eaters are trans people.
Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Listen. All right. Here's the thing.
No.
All you had to fucking do was shut the fuck
Just
up.
shut up. Just shut up, and we would still be walking around in Harry Potter robes. We would like if she would just shut the fuck. I've never seen somebody work so hard to not take my money. Like,
Yeah. Shutting up and not sharing these thoughts are a free action. All it takes. Listen, I want to make a commitment right now on this show. Listen, I'm not a perfect person, right?
I never meant to do this.
Right? Earlier, I said something that could be considered ableist, and I apologize. And I want you to know that making sure to hold myself accountable is something that I want to do. If I keep my mouth shut, I cannot be held accountable because no one knows what I would have said if I was actually an asshole. And I want y'all to know that I am trying my damnness to keep myself accountable for my own words and my own thoughts. So feel free, if there's something that I say and you want to say, hey, Chris, that wasn't cool, let me know and I will attempt to fix it.
Hell yeah.
That's the responsibility of a good person.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say that my suggestion to folks, if they decide that they need racism, sexism, homophobia, or transphobia in their game, is if this is the game that you want to write, maybe consider therapy.
You're much kinder. I was just gonna say, if you want racism, sexism, ableism, transphobia, homophobia in your game, get fucked.
Yeah.
We're taking the hobby from you specifically.
Yes, we want to take the hobby from these people.
Oh god! But what I was gonna say before that, especially in terms of holding yourself accountable, which is something that I 100% get behind. You can't do that if you're unwilling to apologize.
Mhm.
And that unfortunately I feel is an issue that plagues our space, which is, people want to, instead of apologizing, just kind of lashing out. Nobody gets it right 100% of the time, and if you act like you get it right 100% of the time, chances are you're hiding something. It eventually gonna come to light. So learn to say you're sorry, or also get fucked.
Yeah. So, fun fact: I'm going to relate this to a movie. One of the earliest pieces of media that most of my family allowed me to consume far too early was the movie Friday. And I want to tell you that the main character, Craig, also has this moment. It is really funny to think about it in this abstract way. This man bought a gun and was about to kill somebody, but then his dad said, people nowadays are afraid to take the lick and get back up. Just take the L, apologize, and move on.
Thank you. Don't reassign blame. Don't deflect. Don't do any of that shit. Just go, listen, I beefed it real hard on this one. My bad. How can I make amends and understand that sometimes when you fuck up and you hurt somebody, they're not going to forgive you. And that's there's nothing you can do about that.
That's a sign of maturity and growth that you're able to take those steps to better yourself.
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
Do you want my petty prime time?
Yes, please.
A lot of people get by in this space by being real inflammatory a lot of the time and just hopping down the throat of whatever drama comes around in the space. It's boring. Share your joy, share your love, share the things that make you happy. Just get a new shtick. Go to therapy. That's it.
Listen, I have been known to partake in the sauciness of sauce, and like, there's a difference between. I truly believe there's a difference between, kind of calling something out and feasting on it, and even when I call something out, if I beef it, I try to apologize. Like one of the things that I can acknowledge that I beefed a little hard, and I had a whole thread about it. Was the summit thing. I still don't think that I was 100% wrong, but what I didn't account for was the entirety of the situation, which was I kind of saw two sides when there are actually three. There's the people that are wary of wizards, which I'm always gonna be. I don't trust big companies. There are the people that were being attacked by trolls, and then there are the trolls. Without seeing the side of the people that were being attacked by trolls, I kind of felt like, hey, why are y'all being so defensive and angry when we're just, keeping the eye on the prize, which was like Wizards was fucking shit up for a while there. So I thought, hey, it's only natural to be wary. And so I'm like, y'all are being mad defensive where motherfuckers trying to protect the hobby, and they were going, we're being attacked, and I was like, I'm not attacking you. What the fuck? And then I had a conversation with with Jerdick, which is somebody that I've never really talked to before, and we just kind of sat and we talked about it, and we discovered oh, we're yelling at each other, and there's a third party in this bitch.
That was Jesse, right? Jesse Jerdick?
Yeah. There's a call coming from inside the house, so. Fuck those trolls that are giving people a hard time for going to the summit, but also always be wary of companies, always. Yeah.
Also, for footnote, I don't know if y'all have met Jesse. I have met him. He is a mountain of a man.
Oh, when we first started talking, I was just like, listen, before we get into the shit that could potentially make it so we never talk again, I just want you to know you are fitness goals. I want to touch your pecs.
Yeah, he gives good hugs.
Oh, I've been promised one, and I'm super duper excited about it.
Yes. Okay, now back to the Dark Crystal.
But yes, that's my thing is being hyper inflammatory on either side of a hot button topic is boring. Share your joy.
Yeah.
Share the joy.
Also, if you beef it, acknowledge it.
Beef it. Acknowledge your beef.
Mm-hmm.
There's another segment that we always do on the podcast that I'm so damn excited for this, which is we have. I'm renaming it. I'm renaming it Table Confessions. If there's something at the table that you do that you kind of feel like maybe this isn't such a great aspect of myself here at this table, this is where you confess and we give you penance. Again, I will model the behavior that I expect, but going first, we kind of touched on it earlier, so I am going to make this my confession, which is after GMing, I am way too hard on myself. It doesn't matter how much love and praise the people at the table give me. It doesn't matter how much love and praise the people who are watching the show give me. After the game is over, I still feel like a piece of shit. And so that is my confession. And I submit myself now to the judgment of our panel here. So, what is my penance?
Oh, your penance is very simple.
Mm-hmm. I can already feel I'm not gonna like this.
You're not gonna like it.
Mm.
Your penance is quite simply to find something in the session that you liked about your performance. And to acknowledge that even the act of putting yourself out there and being a GM is a triumph in and of itself, because there's a lot of people who don't even get to that point.
Ah!
And I would
Give
like
yourself
to add,
some words of affirmation.
I'd like to also add another thing.
Go ahead.
Drink water.
Oh, you motherfucking God.
I like how that was a thing that busted it. That was-
Did you hear
that
that
was a
part?
thing. No,
I just heard this fucking bullshit coming from the other room.
just punishments. Listen, whenever you're not feeling like yourself, I mean, you could eat a Snickers or you could drink water.
What was it? I think it was Rose in chat said what was it was yeah, Love Murder Rose said in chat earlier, or it might have been Jordan Lee, said, if you feel like you're angry at yourself, have a nap, have a shower, have a nap. If you feel like you are angry at other people, eat something. Yeah, that was Rose. Rose said, yeah, if you feel like you are angry at yourself, drink some water, have a nap, or have a shower. If you're angry at other people, eat something, because you're probably just glycemic.
I'm actually very upset because after downing that glass of water, I actually feel better.
There you go.
Hey, that's what's up. I
Alright,
learned that from undisclosed sources.
All right, so now it's time for you two to give me a table confession.
Okay.
Chris isn't gonna like it, but go for it. You could do yours first.
Oh boy. My table confession is that I feel like I'm not trying hard enough.
Oh, I know that.
Like when I'm playing a game or when people are asking me to be in games, and sometimes I feel like I'm just not trying good enough or trying hard enough to be worthy of that attention.
Oh, I've already got your penance.
No.
This kind of changed things for me. Your penance is to go and open a Google spreadsheet and write down every actual play that you've been in, write down every game that you've designed, write down every show that you've guested on, and to maintain it.
Oh,
Look
you
at
to
your
write
body
down-
of work as a whole.
I want you to take any promotional pictures involved in what you've done and save that to the spreadsheet. I want you to list everybody that was on there with you. So like for today, you would take the promo shot and put that in the spreadsheet. You put down that you were on Morning Ritual with Noir and Anita, and you just keep doing that. And when you have those moments of like, man, I'm not doing enough, pull that up and look at it. And final thing, because this is the key to this trick. If you still feel like you have not done enough, put TBD in the next empty space, so you're reminding yourself you're not done, you're still going.
okay. All right, that's gonna okay. To put all of my work in. Okay.
I will also add to this in the spreadsheet. When you list your appearances or what you've been on, I want you to also put down one memorable moment that you contributed in.
Oh no. Oh God.
Honestly, what I do is sometimes I even like if somebody puts a clip, I'll put the link to the clip in the spreadsheet.
So that way you can be reminded of something that you were part of.
Yep.
A curriculum vitae for TTRPG. Yeah, a TTRP CV.
Okay. I will be.
Mine is long.
Yeah, you sent it to me and I was like, this is huge. And I I started working on mine and then like stopped. And the reason why I stopped was because like the first two accomplishments that I made it, and what made me start was the ironic collapse of Vorpal Tales. So I was able to grab the videos before they were marked private, so I can still share them with people. It was like,
You
oh
have the
yeah,
link
we're gonna.
still.
Yeah, I still have the link. So I was like, okay, I got to get this done, and then I never worked on it again. So now I've got
Yep.
to.
Yep.
Also, Jordan, I will not fight you, but I will give you a hug.
Hey Jordan, if you come to Chicago, like, let's hang out.
Also, I did not know you were from here. That's also really cool. This place is really great.
I'm
Everybody kind of
telling
did it.
y'all,
This is the best
Chicago. Listen, if I have my way, if Lakeshore Die does well, I swear to God, motherfuckers are going to be flabbergasted by the shit that comes out of this city. We are fucking dope.
Born and raised in Chicago. Squad.
We love that. So, I mean, hey, you know what? Next time you're here, we'll all go get Portillo's because that's the spot. Like, you can't come to Chicago and not get it. It's the best.
I
Yeah.
got a beef waiting for me after this show is over. No.
Local metal band. We love it. Okay.
love it.
Anita, what is your confession?
Oh, we're definitely hanging out, Baba.
My confession, Chris isn't gonna like this. Anytime I say I need to look at my notes, I'm not looking at my notes. I'm looking up a name generator to find the name for this NPC, bitch.
I've already got your pen. It's ready.
You know,
I live in sin. I am in constant penance debt. I haven't atoned for any of my sins.
God damn it.
That's my other confession.
All right, go ahead. Let me know what the first judgment is.
Anita's pulling out an Usher. These are my confessions. I got your penance. Here's your penance. I want you to take a blank piece of paper. I want you to make 3 columns. Human, non-human, automaton. And I want you to write down 10 names for each one. So that instead of going to a generator, you pull your sheet, and as you use the names, you cross them off.
I have a slightly different form of atonement.
Uh-oh.
This is coming from a player in my game. I fear this.
Oh no, it's not quite atonement, if you will. It is for you to wallow deeper in sin. Your punishment is to open the name generator before you are asked these questions.
Have a tab open for the name generator.
Mm-hmm.
Most times I forget to open the character keeper.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If you want to do it that way, that's absolutely fine. But now your penance is to be prepared, which also in and of itself is punishment enough.
Shit. All right.
I got another confession. I got another confession to
Confession
make.
Okay, Dave.
Let's hear it.
I don't remember the names of my fellow party members until the 5th episode, and I have to have the overlay open to remember them. And there have been shows where the name switches from like character name to real names, and sometimes I have to vamp until the overlay goes back to the character name.
I've done that too. I've done that during shows I've been GMing for months. I'm 5 sessions in. I didn't remember Genevieve's name. I've had a character named Genevieve. I forgot what Becca's character's name was.
Woo.
Listen,
It took me 2 seconds to wait for the overlay to roll over.
there was recently an episode of Star Trek Perseverance that I was on, where I accidentally called one of my fellow party members' names by the player's name, because that was the name on the overlay. And this was my first time playing with that person, and I full on it. So Jade, they were like, "That's my name," and I was like, "Oh no, oh no."
Whoops. The crew member Jade is now going to go back down to the engine room.
Yep. And I'm playing the commander, so I'm supposed to know these.
Right.
Like,
yeah, just honor the slip up in a different way.
Oh god.
I feel lighter for having confessed my sins, and I will put in none of the work to do my penance.
I know you will.
I don't know, man. Open that name generator is pretty easy. Listen. I'm not going to lie to y'all.
Listen, when I came up with the name Gilbert Smythe last session.
Mm-hmm. Name gen.
No, I just thought of the name Gilbert, and then I was like, I can't say Godfrey.
Listen, that's how it works. I tell y'all that lately I've been playing War Sim. For the last couple weeks I've been playing it. Y'all had got rated in one time playing it. The name generator on that, A+. Never gonna forget the fact that they gave me Sir Sirius Night Rush. That was like the coldest name I'd ever heard. I was like, y'all really just dropped this nugget, this gem of a name. And I started going into it. I actually wrote some of them down. Where are they? There they are. I wrote some of these names down, right? And I'm like, yo, the good ones gotta stay. So it was Wolf Siege, Wolf Eater. I'm like, okay, this dude is clearly a barbarian. And then Sir Abella, Friend of the Sea. I'm like, what fantasy place are we getting? Then Grab Torque the Magnificent. Like, some of these names make no sense, but at the same time, like, the name generator did it for me. That's why I also mentioned Sir Grimy, the Old Painter, and Kesser the Bolt Man, who just open the name generator before you start, because you're gonna get ingenious names and you're gonna have them all at your fingertips.
I actually need to start using name generators because, all right, last confession.
Go ahead.
I often name characters after. You ever see that Key and Peele sketch where, like, the bad guy is just saying things in the room like, "Hey, hang in there," and like you see a poster behind them and it's a cat like on the wires like, "Hang in there." Like, I do that literally all the time with my character names. I recently did a one-shot of Star Trek, and it occurred to me, oh my god, I did not think of the bad guy's name. And like it was time for the bad guy to make their appearance, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't think of a name. So I named him Val-In, which is just villain.
I love that so much.
I'm just come up with my new character name, Shy Candlewick.
Oh boy.
Because I have a Chicago mug. So, Shy. And I have a candle on my desk. The wick in it. Candle wick.
We love it.
See, that's all you gotta do.
That's all you gotta do. For all you watching, just do it. It's no.
All of
no
your
concept.
favorites are using shortcuts. Listen, that's why I say anybody can fucking do this shit, because I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay in the space. I'm not doing great, but I'm doing okay. And I am not smart. So anybody can fucking do this. Just give it a try. That said, we've got another segment. So every single game I've read has been by the seat of my pants. And that's real. Listen, I got to see Latia GM firsthand. I was producing for Rivals during one of the seasons where Latia was a GM. I absolutely thought you took notes, because like it was real good. And like, so hearing that makes me feel a lot better, because I'm like, I know for a fact that Latia has bookcases full of notebooks. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, there must be tedious, copious amounts of notes.
Meticulous.
Like, no, by the seat of your pants, I would not have believed you if you did not just tell me that. But there is another part of the show that we always do. I think this is the oldest segment of this show, and I'm very excited for this because I could potentially be somebody you talk about. We'll see. If you've been in the TTRPG space long enough, you probably have the experience of playing with a that guy. A that guy is a veritable black hole of fun at the table. Someone that, if they were yeeted into the sun, your experience would increase by 100%. So, OmnisX, do you have a that guy story for us?
Can I tell you my that guy first?
Feel free.
Oh, okay.
My that guy promised to take me to another city and then dropped me off in a dungeon full of Baphomets.
And then he killed your ex a bunch.
That's true.
So
I'm just fucking with you. You're good.
I'm just messing with you.
Go on.
Like, this is fantastic. All right, so I have a that guy story. So when I lived down south, I was running that 3.5 game for some friends, and we had more people who wanted to join. Now, I had a guy, same government name, but not you, join the table. And this is all right. So he was the Skyrim player. So every time, without fail, he would loot the body. That was his catchphrase. I loot the body. He would also roll his dice.
Are you sure this wasn't me? That sounds like me.
No, it was not you. No, it was I loot the body every time. Like, I remember, and I can tell you why. One of the other players was going to get a magic bow, but it was designed for them. So it was magically bound to them already. So this guy tried to loot that bow and was like, the ground was falling out from under them. And I'm like, yo, like, this character has come to rescue you. You've got the bow in hand and you've got another hand on the floor. If you give them the bow, they can help you up. And this guy was debating on whether or not to fall. And I'm like, okay, you're one of those guys. Now, I should have known this because all right, so I did hang out with this person outside of D&D, and the friend group wasn't exactly that great, but I should have known some bullshit was going to happen when him and his other pal, who we would play with, because we played with them, they were both kind of like in the Skyrim way of things, but we were in a place where we had been playing Soul Calibur, and at that point, I realized then, and I'm like, I'm not making this a safe space for all my players, because one of them, in the middle of a Soul Calibur match, said something so fucking misogynistic. And I, like, after that, like, after one more session with that guy, it was done. All right, we let him go. And I don't know if I should say it or not. Should I?
I think it's okay to say, so long as as long as one, content warning for misogyny. Two, we understand that this is what that person said, and this is that guy, so we understand that this is already going to be pretty shitty. Shitty. And also, we firmly established that whatever you're about to say, we vehemently disagree with.
Disagree with. Mind you, and that's what I mean. Like, I wasn't making it a safe space for all of my femme players. And this guy, in the middle of playing Soul Calibur, says, "Punch her in the baby maker." And I immediately, like, my face fell. I was like, oh God, of course. Of fucking course. This explains so fucking much. Like, you don't view women as women or people. So the game did eventually shut down after that, right? But it was like, looking back on it, I was not making my space safe. And I absolutely refused to repeat that action. But that was that guy. Like, it was a Skyrim guy and also a misogynist.
Yeah. First off, I kind of love the term Skyrim guy. Second, one of the things that this segment is showing me is that, in a very weird way, that guy can be helpful. And what I mean by that is that sometimes you meet somebody so very fucking awful that you have to take a step back and reevaluate how you met them,
Mhm.
how they made it to your table, and how to make sure that doesn't happen again. So it sounds like this was a informative that guy. And also, fuck that guy. I know this isn't table confessions, but his penance is to have Layla Ali speed bag his nuts.
Listen, buddy. Listen, here's the funniest thing, right? I got pseudo revenge in another way because I discovered how disgusting this guy was. Again, and trigger warning, I don't know whether or not this constitutes body armor or not, but this dude, I don't know how, was one of those people that did not like to bathe.
Was he,
Yes.
Baby, I love
but I remember that I redoubled my own bathing efforts after discovering this, because I remember he got sent to the hospital for a belly button infection. And I was like, how?
I didn't know that was a thing.
It's so fucking weird. I'm like, how do you shower and not wash properly? And that's when it all clicked. And it was like, oh, you're not just dirty in mind, you're dirty in both body and spirit. And we had, growing up, a friend who also did not like to bathe, but he never got sent to the hospital for being filthy.
Yeah.
We only knew that he didn't bathe because he didn't like to wear shoes. And we could tell, because when you show up to school not wearing shoes and the bottom of your soles are blacker than us combined.
That's not melanin, my friends.
That is not melanin.
That is just grime.
That is dirt. I don't know how. It's just a thing.
I feel like I need a shower just listening to that story.
Yeah, it's rough. So yeah, that guy, unfortunately for you, friend, I don't know how you did it, but you're married now.
Wow.
So
wow.
Here's to you.
Folks gotta raise their standards.
Hopefully you fix that shit, and that's why you're married. But if they got into it before knowing this, if you're somehow watching this show, if you come here somehow all the way to this point and you're watching this show and you realize I'm talking about you, man, listen, you were that guy.
Listen, if you're still that guy and you're listening to the show, stop.
Get some help. Oh man. All right. I don't know if there are more dark roast questions, but I feel good getting that off my chest, because I did not tell a lot of people about that, and I'm like, well,
how did that belly button infected soul get a partner and I'm crying single?
This man was, I don't know if y'all played Elden Ring, but this man somehow, was Dung Eater before Dung Eater existed. And I'm just like, you're covered in filth, my guy.
That is upsetting.
Yeah. I don't know how to follow that up with anything but wash yourself.
Stop it. Get some help.
There it is. I knew I had it.
There it is.
And
Oh
also-
man.
Emotional damage.
Okay.
I had-
Your audio just went fucky because I think I know exactly what happened. You're good.
Yeah, I switched back.
Okay.
You're all good.
But yeah, that is.
That's rough.
Honestly, that's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
I love how the soundboard is so much louder than ours. Like, right? Like, I'm gonna work on voice mod after this show, but it's really trying.
Hydrate, everybody.
It's I already hydrated.
Hydrate more. Hydrate, but your skin. Go have a shower.
Right. Listen, after all of this, I will be going to my regular job where I sell board games, and before I do that, I will go have a nice shower.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take a nice long hot shower as well. That's gonna bring us to the last question that we always ask, and then I think we can wrap this up with a nice bow. This has been a really good time catching up. I'm excited to have been able to tell you about Lakeshore Die, and now you're committed. You don't have a choice.
Now you've agreed. You've signed the blood pact.
You signed you now have your first level in Warlock. But
Warlock, you say?
there it is. The last thing that we like to do here is a community spotlight. So if there's anybody that has made you feel welcome in the space, or anybody that you want to give a shout out to, somebody that you feel doesn't get nearly as much love as they should, this is your chance to shout them out. Again, I will model the behavior by doing my own, which is first off, Jesse Jernick. Again, first time talking to the guy, and we were talking about like something that we could potentially butt heads about, but we talked in good faith, and I think it was healthy. We saw each other's perspective, and it's refreshing, especially over Twitter, to have a conversation with somebody where the conversation isn't driven by trying to be right, but by trying to find a middle ground and understand each other. And I feel like that's something that does not happen very often, especially with online discourse. And it was really just a healthy conversation. It kind of restored my faith in the space, because honestly, I was getting ready to just call it. I was like, you know what, fuck this space. I'm kind of done with it. So shout out to Jesse Jernick. Please go ahead and show him love. I know it's like community spotlight is generally supposed to be for people that don't receive enough love, but I feel like this is somebody that could easily use some more love. And also shout out to his partner, Laura, aka critical_MRS. Laura, you might have to fight Anita because you're both critical misses.
I love that.
I would watch that fight. But yeah, that's my community spotlight. And now I pass it on to either of you. Is there anyone that you would like to give a special shout out to?
Okay, I guess I'll go ahead and do this. I'd also like to mirror what Noir said about Jesse. He is a phenomenal person, and like I said, when I met them, I got a chance to speak with them about their history in the space and about what people's hatred does to them. Like, instead of being able to enjoy things, you try and take, and trying to extend a small hand to get them to change. And I really appreciated that conversation. So Jesse, Laura, thank you for lending me your time with that. I'd also like to shout out, of course I would, D&D Jordan Lee. Thank you for like having me on your shows and doing all the work that you do. Like, you exhaust yourself, honestly, putting together those charity streams. And I apologize I couldn't make it for this one, but you honestly are an icon, and you're doing a lot of good work. I appreciate you, and your work is valuable. In addition, Lamia, you're also there. You, especially because you're a therapist, and we need more of you. We need you. I am so happy you're here, and the work you are doing is more than just, necessary in this world. It's invaluable. So both of you, D&D Jordan Lee on Twitter, and I believe Mental Woke on Twitter, you both make me feel very welcome in this space, and I am appreciative of both of you. And finally, as a tongue-in-cheek, thanks, Latia.
Yeah.
And thank you too, Noir, because both of you are the reason why I'm here.
And you're the reason why I'm here. So it all and honestly, you're the reason that I'm here, and Latia's the reason that we're both here.
Yeah, there it is. Not eligible, you say.
I need y'all to firmly understand, like, from I know I've said this before on the show, but from our perspective, this is kind of how things went. We were all friends in high school. We hung out. We discovered D&D together, and then we all kind of separated. Then I started hanging out with Latia again after a while, and we would just hang out. Nothing really D&D based. I think this is when like Latia was in her first apartment, and it was kind of like Latia just would vanish and then come back one day and be like, "Hey, there's this thing, Critical Role. I think it's kind of cool." And I'm like, "What is it?" You go, "It's a bunch of people playing D&D on Twitch." And I'm like, "The fuck would I want to watch somebody play D&D for? I want to play D&D on my own. This is dumb. Nobody's ever gonna love this Critical Role thing." And Latia went, "Okay," and then vanished. And then it came back. It was just like, "Oh man, this D&D thing on Twitch is really cool. You should check it out." I'm making friends. I'm making friends with some people that play D&D online. It's pretty cool. And I'm like, "What? That doesn't make any sense. Like, how are you playing D&D online? That's silly." And Latia went, "Okay," and then vanished. They came back. It was just like, "Hey, so like I'm doing games and stuff online and stuff." And I'm like, "What? That doesn't make any sense." "Oh, okay," and then vanish, and then come back and go, "Hey, so now I'm on one of the most popular shows doing D&D online." And I'm like, "What? Let me look up Latia." And then I looked up Latia on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh shit." And then Latia vanished. And then like then I start seeing Latia pop up on my timeline as like Latia, and I'm like, "Wait, I know her. What the shit is happening here?" And then it was just like, "Okay, well now it's on."
Latia loves your take on this because it makes her seem like a cryptid.
She absolutely is.
So
she is a wonderful cryptid.
Don't believe me. Like, Latia will vanish for a time, and you will not know what she's doing. And then you will find out about it through the whispers of other people. Like, "Oh my god,
Have you seen Latia? What the hell is
Latia?
Latia?
Like, this is crazy." And I'm like, "Latia? High school Latia?"
Right. All right. So just to expand on that, because we're both in the same place right now, that's earlier I mentioned, oh yeah, Dimension 20, Adventure Academy got me into it. It was specifically Latia's episode. I saw it 3 days before my birthday. And I was like, "Yo, what the hell? Like, this cannot be real." Like, so I watched the episode, watched Brennan Lee Mulligan, who I had been idolizing because, at the time I was like, idolize these people, not like actually associate them with, their humanity. Toxic thinking, got over it. But either way, Brennan starts dropping her creds, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like,
right? Like,
this can't be right.
I knew shit was real when somebody was telling me about Latia, but they didn't remember Latia's name. And I was like, wow, that sounds an awful lot like my friend from high school. And they were like, what's their name? I was like, Latia. They're like, that's them. And I'm like, okay. But they got like real excited. And I'm like, they're like, you know her? And I'm like, know her? I stole about 20 chicken wings.
I stole chicken wings.
Latia's about to blow up in chat right now.
It is the highest order. Listen. All I'm saying is I saw the episode. It was immediately like, this can't be the same person. And then I heard her voice and I'm like, wow, yeah, that's the same person. There's so few Latias in the world. And I hope that this Latia is the cause of more
chicken
Latias
wings
being in there.
for shame.
4 chicken wings.
It wasn't just me, though. Trey was there.
You know what? It's fine.
But yeah.
Those chicken wings must have been good.
So when I tell you, without Omnis and without Latia, there would not be a Noir. I fucking mean it, because one, the passion for D&D was put in me by Omnis, and the drive to do this like this is 100% out of pure grade A concentrated USDA A+ grade beef pettiness and spite. Like, I was like, there's no way, no fucking way. I'm gonna meet you. I'm gonna meet you where you're at. God damn it! I swear to God. And like,
meet you in these streets, and we'll sort this out like warriors.
It's like I'm just climbing to reach Latia, and I'm just watching Latia with a jetpack. Like, oh no, higher! You have to go higher.
It's definitely the cutscene where like you're like climbing up the mountain and that anime character just sitting there, legs crossed, just sitting there like with a glass of wine or some shit, just like, hey, what are you doing down there?
Like,
and
I would not be surprised if I got invited to like the biggest thing I could ever do. Like, if by the grace of God somehow I was ever invited to like a Dimension 20 game or something like that, I could imagine walking in the office and seeing an office chair turned around and it's just Latia. Like, oh, so you've made it.
Somehow it's just stroking Dio, the dog.
It's stroking Dio.
Every time
Absolutely.
I see Latia's dog, I just think, let me do it for you.
That dog is a menace. A good menace, but he is still a menace. There is truth. He will bite you for fun. You'll be sitting there trying to, browse your phone, watching stuff on Twitter, be watching YouTube videos, and then suddenly, all of a sudden, hey, is this hand a bone? Because I think it is. But he's a lovely dog. Just to throw some Dio lore in the chat.
A friend of mine once said that people build people, and that it doesn't really matter what you do at the end of the day. It's the people that you help along the way. That's what really, really matters.
Well, I know I've cut into the community spot. Like, there's just one last thing that I want to say, and then I'll hand it back on over.
Sure.
Did you know that you can find me and Latia on Apple Music? That's all I'll say. We're there.
What the fuck? That's news to me.
Have a fun little scavenger trick. Have a little scavenger hunt. It's a good time. Oh, Spotify too.
Yeah.
Yes. If you
I don't know if I could love that any less.
You motherfucker, this Latia is so fucking talented. It's upsetting. And if you want to hear what we sound like having a competition musically, it is there for you on Apple Music and Spotify. and also SoundCloud. So have fun.
Stop talking about me, says Lucia. Well, then I'll take over. I'll do my real quick community spotlight. For the last couple weeks, I have had AJ or Husha Kid working on a big project for our 100th episode. This human has been scrubbing through every single fucking episode, almost 100 fucking episodes of Morning Ritual. This is episode number 97. And
hey, you're number 97, bro.
Yeah. And AJ has been scrubbing through every single episode of Morning Ritual, compiling a list of who is Crunch and not Crunch, and has been doing a whole lot of goddamn work. And y'all should check out his coffee and send some money his way, because we're paying him for this, but it's probably not enough.
And I will add on top of that, AJ is one of the most talented actual players I've ever had the privilege of GMing for. Just a kind spirit. And if you are unable to support AJ financially, AJ has sponsored content from HelloFresh. If you can't send money his way, support those posts, retweet them, share them, let these sponsors know that this motherfucker is for real, because I cannot tell you how professional, how kind, how talented, and how hardworking this dude is. And I swear to God, I will fly this motherfucker out for Lakeshore Die in studio games. I am not even kidding. Listen,
we'll drag him here by their hair from New York if we have to.
Here's how much I love AJ. If this hurts, if this is, I want to give AJ something, and I'm broke right now, so I'm gonna give him this, and it's going to live on the internet forever. And I hate myself for saying it. I hate New York with a passion, but maybe I was wrong about New York pizza. Maybe it's good. Maybe you should fold your pizza slices. Maybe greasy pizza is delicious. Maybe I was just talking shit.
Are you talking about the cheese and crackers that is New York pizza? If I wanted charcuterie, I'd have charcuterie.
We're gonna say this once, so enjoy it. Camera, zoom in on me. I say that even though I'm the cameraman. New York slices are better than deep dish.
I'm gonna let you have this moment.
I hate myself.
I'm gonna let you have this moment. We'll come back after you drink some water. Anyway, in addition, oh baby, it's a triple. AJ is a phenomenal person.
Yeah, who's your kid?
Like, really, I met him at PAX Unplugged. Phenomenal dude. I would love to hang out more. You're such
okay. Not the triple.
Yeah, no, AJ, you're fantastic. I love hanging around you. I try to come by whenever you're streaming and I'm not at work, because you're fun, you're interesting. I love you, buddy. Like, I want to know more about you and hang out with you, because you were very cool and chill, and it's just fantastic. It's just fantastic. I'm just eating taquitos, man. Yeah, well, I mean, listen. We love bomb those people who deserve it, and you definitely deserve it.
Hell yes. But on that note, I think there's not a better place for us to end this episode, because you got to get out of here and get to work.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got a day job you got to go to real quick.
Yeah, we're gonna go sell some board games.
Hell yeah. This has been another wonderful episode of Morning Ritual. I've been your host, Anita. You can find me everywhere at Panita or at Critical Misses. I'm a TTRPG streamer, graphic designer, producer, and cat mom about the space. This is my son, my boy.
My boy!
You can find me here every Saturday for Morning Ritual. Our guest next week is the lovely folks from formerly Feral Games, Pixies and Pins, and Damon. And you can find me Sundays over on Pluto Cleric's channel for a Starfinder game called The Weird Frontier, and Thursdays over on Cyberpunk Uncensored for Flight Beyond the Veil, which is a Star Trek Adventures game, GM'd by the lovely Mistress Winter. And then Fridays, this Friday is our series finale of The Growing of the Dim. They're going to face off against a bad dude. A bad dude who's just the epitome of toxic white man who decided to make a devil's bargain. And that's it. That's all. That's me, Noir.
That's my son! It's my boy!
That's a litmus test for if we could be friends. If you saw that scene and you laughed, we're kindred spirits. Hi, everybody. I'm Noir. You can find me all over the internet as the TheNoirEnigma. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Please check out my website, TheNoirEnigma.com. You can find all of our merch there. Please help me. I'm poor. Speaking of being poor, did you know that Dungeons and Dragons now has a Patreon? Please sign up for the Patreon. You're gonna get exclusives, including some behind the scenes clips, as well as some unaired episodes, as well as a bunch of other cool stuff. Very excited about this. Yeah, so please check it out. We're really working hard on this podcast. We're really working hard on Lakeshore Dive. We got a lot of stuff coming out. Also, I've got a show that I'm working on, and it's also going to become a game that I am developing called Head of the Table. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on as we get closer. But it's meant to help people who are not sure if they're ready to be a GM understand that yes, you are in fact ready to be a GM. Final thing that I want to plug. This is my Slut Era glass. If you like it, shut up, Siri. If you like it, please check out MC Etching's coffee store as well as their Etsy. He puts out good stuff. That's our Uncle Nick's. Another Illinois fave. And finally, OmnisX, please tell everybody where we can find you and what you're up to.
Hello. My name is Chris. My username is OmnisX. That's OMNIS_X on Twitter because reasons. Without the X, pretty much everywhere else. I stream every now and again. It's mostly been Saturdays for me. Normally this would be my stream time, but today I decided to spend this time with my lovely friends who are completely deserving of your time and your money. So if you have any way to support them, please feel free. You can find me on Twitter, mostly just chilling out, hanging out. I have goals to do. I want to write more about my game. I Am the Beyond may soon become We Are the Beyond. We've got to do more. I want to do more with that. And I don't know what else I can say here. It has been a pleasure. It has been absolutely great. Oh, I know what I can say. Just in case it wasn't clear, but I very much like doing this. So Black Lives Matter and Trans Lives Matter. So that's important.
Trans lives over cis feelings all day, day. Go fuck yourself.
Mhm.
Also, AJ found it.
So if you want to hear that musical thing that I was alluding to, follow the YouTube link who should just put down. Enjoy the music, and more than that, enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much for spending time with us. And the ritual, yeah, that's right. I'm saying,
But we gotta go on a raid first. Who we saying hi to?
Oh, who are we saying hi to?
I can't see because I'm still poking.
I know, I'm good. I got you. Let's go say hi to Total Party Kiss.
Total Party.
Total Party Kiss.
I always say it like that. But thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the music, enjoy your weekend, and have a great day. As for now, the ritual is concluded. Is that what it is?
That's right, the ritual has concluded. Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Bye bye.